is what say.
Hello.
Oh my God. What's this new hairstyle?
Wobsy the bouncer.
Huh?
Bad hair
We
day.
are live, Patif.
All right. So first time we have all five analysts on time and in presence. And also, what happened this week was we had all the games without any rain interruption. So that was great news. So we'll cover those games as well as some of the rescheduled games as well, which happened on the Tuesday, and the some three games are currently going on. So we'll probably keep an eye on that as well. So let's start off, with in the order in which the games were played, the way they're listed on the website. So Satya, if you can start sharing your screen so our audiences can follow. How is everyone doing, by the way?
Actually, Parthiv, I'm doing good. Are you able to see see this?
Yes, I can see the reindeer. What is that? A reindeer?
Yeah, it's a reindeer which is hanging with its head cut off and caught by its horns. And during the course of the evening, I'll be reading out who this reindeer represents. Right now, when I look through it, I see KK's name listed there. All right. We'll see who else is listed on there.
Is that reindeer? Is that reindeer represent our 4Ms? Is he part of the 4Ms?
No, it's not part of the 4Ms.
Okay.
It's not part of the 4Ms. But I hope that we are going to take a look at whatever is the masala for the week. But that is last. But the reindeer has KK's name. The KK's name. I just want to know who else's name is there on there. All right. We'll figure that out as we go along.
All right. Yeah. So it's early Christmas, and we'll hear about the reindeer story from Viju. But let's go on to the first game. The first game of the.
What happened? We lost him. We lost you, Partha. We can't hear you. Actually, we should give an award to Parthiv because every week he has audio problems and we can't hear one word what he's saying now.
Parthiv, no, not it.
Satya, I think the first game is Dynamite versus Dark Horses. I can go ahead and
go ahead.
do the analysis. Meanwhile, Parthiv can fix his.
Yes, please.
Okay. So the very first game for today evening is Dynamite versus Dark Horses. In this particular game, Dynamite has won the toss, and this time they did not make any mistake. They elected to bat first, and I believe they had a decent start where Prithvi and Arun, they started playing well, and then the first wicket fall on 11. I think most of the run that out of that 11 has been scored by Prithvi, but Vijay Kumar Gabriel, I think, is the second duck continuously for him. Game against Detroit Titan also, he was, I think, 0. And Satish also could not make a difference this time. But if you see this particular game, I think they have learned from the Murugan. Murugan was fantastic against the Detroit Titans, but he came way down the order. I think 7-8 down. But this time, I think they have seen the potential on the Murugan where he can bat, and he has shown that the captain's confidence, and he has proven that he can bat up in the order. And the partnership between Arun and Murugan that helped them in the beginning, and the 37 run in just 37 ball makes that show that how impactful inning that he has played in that particular game. And I think they had in between these two players, they had around 40 odd runs of partnership. After that, I see there is other than Arun, they not a lot of supports are there, Arun and Vinod. But what I think at one point they started hitting to score the run out at 16-17 over when the wicket was in hand. So I think that worked out with them, and they ended up with 123 run. If you ask me, 123 run for the Dark Horses batting is at par score to start with. And from the Dark Horses bowling side, I see a couple of 2 wickets, but most of the people were little over economy if you consider DCL aspect. So that made them 123 out of the box. Now when the Dynamite Dark Horses started batting, they also did not have a good start. Their first 2 wickets, and including the captain, got out very cheaply. But after that, Rahul and Mohammad Nabi, they both played a crucial inning there, and they got the Dark Horses back on the game. They added about 40 odd run partnership there while chasing 123. But later on, other than Rahul Bhandari, nobody has supported, and the lower middle order was completely collapsed for Dark Horses. And 123, as I mentioned earlier, 123 it was first place was also a little bit more than what they could have, got into. That was the Dark Horses. Yep. On the other hand, Dynamite bowling. Let me quickly. Sorry, I forgot the stat. I see.
We're not able to hear.
Arun had a fantastic outing again there, picking up the 3 wickets, and Vinod also. He started this time. I think he was bowling in the middle of the inning, but this time he started the bowling and he picked up the 2 wickets, and I think all other bowlers were also well supported. So it was a very comfortable win for Dynamite, winning after losing the last game, winning comfortably with the bonus point will boost them. And I think Dark Horses is still looking for their first win for the season. What do you, Parthiv? Or Satya, if
Parthiv has to connect. So, Viju, you have anything?
No, I have nothing. This game was not assigned to me, so
okay. So
I don't have
next
anything
is Miles Thunders. So, do we want to go later for this, or it's just striker?
Let Parthiv come back, and then we can come back.
We go to SSK local boys. It should be quick.
Okay.
Baba, can you just cover quick this? So,
it was, I think KK is one, right? KK is not there too?
I think KK is not. KK is there. KK?
Local boys versus SSK game. I mean, we all predicted SSK to win this game, and rightly they did win with a bonus point. Because I think local boys, after last year's performance, I think they had a few good performances last year. They didn't make it to the playoffs, but at least it raised some eyebrows. The wins against GLCC and a few other teams. Coming to this game or this season, I don't think their main guys are firing. This game, at least Srinivas and Elumalai scored 31 runs out of those 64 total, right? But I think SSK bowlers, either SSK bowlers bowled well or it was local boys whose batting went bad, because except for Srinivas and Elumalai, there was only one other double digit from Harsha who scored 10 runs. But the rest of the pack didn't bother much to score any runs. There were 4 ducks in the innings and they got bundled out for 64. And from SSK, Sai Prakash Marasani, he was the pick of the bowlers, 5 for 8. Any day 5 for is special, and Sai should be proud of it. No extras considered. You see 5 overs, 1 made in 23 dots. Most importantly, he gave away 8 runs and picked 5 wickets. That's a phenomenal performance, and we hope to see more such performances from Sai. He's a good all-rounder for SSK. And when it comes to their batting, last week, I think someone was talking about Kalyan Tanjavur. So he deserved to get the 30 runs. He played through. He made sure that the team crosses the line. They get the bonus. Although there is only one other double digit again from Tejaswar. There are not many hiccups. I think the chase went on smooth. They lost their opener in the very first over, but after that they got decent partnerships. It was a welcome win for SSK, who after their previous 2 drubbings, I think they are back on track.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, Parthiv.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything
Better?
No. I again, not a game assigned to me, so I'll pass in the interest of time.
All right. I think I'm audible.
Yes,
Yes.
Parthiv, you are audible.
Okay, perfect.
So we skipped your Miles Thunders. So we'll go to Miles Thunders.
All right. So Miles Thunders, I think this was a game that we predicted was going to be really close, and both captains were here. Both captains assured us that it's going to be a great game, but unfortunately, it didn't live up to the expectation of it being a showcase game of the week. The Indus Thunders just rolled over MCC Miles. I'd like to go with, since this is a Pool A game, this is something that I would like to cover. I think I was actually watching this game very closely. It was happening at the same ground as we were, and the way Miles batted, I think it was a lack of planning. I think the batting order again was a mixed match. I would say a lot of changes happening. Sanjay himself coming lower down the order, much lower than expected, and there were no partnerships along the way. They just kept getting wickets one after the other. And this time around, as Srikanth had predicted, Indus Thunders got all their weapons. They have Dinesh, they have Manoj, they have Vijay, they have Jalaj. Pretty much everyone except Bangera. Obviously, he's absent. So they had pretty much the entire bowling unit, and they fired. Really, I mean, again, Manoj Singh being the thick of things, both with the bat and the ball, as you can see in the scoring card. If you flip to the scoring card, he single-handedly kind of just wiped Miles off. So very, very disappointing performance from Miles. I think we were expecting Miles to be, giving Thunders a run for the money, but unfortunately nothing really happened. And if you look at Miles bowling, I mean, there was nothing that Sanjay could do. I mean, after 59 runs, he needed some quick wickets, and that wasn't the case. Both Abhilash and Jaswant, although economical, they weren't able to provide that breakthrough. And after that, once the likes of Manoj and Chetan get set, it's hard to kind of uproot them. So even though Sanjay tried a lot of options, as you can see, this 8 bowlers that he used, he wasn't able to get the breakthrough. And in desperation, obviously, you try different things and just lose the plot, and that's exactly how it happened. So I would like to see if Viju, you want to add some color to this. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Parthav, I had this reindeer. Satya, can you for a moment switch to the big screen so people can see this reindeer which has been caught by its horns, and its head has been cut off, and it's a poor dead reindeer. I already said that one name on this reindeer's head was KK. Well, I see that I see on the other side, one of its ears has the name Satish Gaba on it. When I look at the other ear, oh no, it's my own name on that. And when I look at the nose of the reindeer, I see it as the name Satya Velayutham there. You know what this means? These 4 great men predicted Miles to win this game. The only guy who got this right was Parthav Mehta, who picked Indus Thunders to win. So his name is not there on this reindeer. I mean, Parthav,
I thought you would have egg.
Did you see this news? This is exactly what happened. You see, the Miles put a noose, and we have been choked. The 4 of us have been choked to death. All right? The Indus Thunders just choked us along with the Miles, and these Miles guys it is an absolute disaster. We have been completely choked off. And Parthiv, do you know how long is this rope? Guess how long?
2
Can you
feet?
guess how?
3 feet?
2 feet? No, my friend, it is 4 miles long. 1 mile for each analyst. 4 miles long. We have been hung with a 4-mile long rope, Parthiv. This is exactly what happened to us. Now, you know what, Parthiv? Let me tell you something. This becomes even more interesting when we get to that Pokeries game where 5 of us had predicted Pokeries to win. And all 5 of us had this noose put around our necks and basically hung out to dry. But you know what? If I had our friend Sanjay Elangovan here, I would have asked him, Sanjay, with all that confidence, what in the world was this performance? It was supposed to be showcase game of the week. It turned out to be shellacking game of the week. You know what a shellacking means, right? It is a thrashing. That is exactly what this game was. It was an absolute thrashing.
Well, Sanjay is going to be on the show, so you can ask him this question yourself.
Well, it was a complete slaughter. It was a complete beatdown. It was a shellacking. So it shouldn't be called showcase game of the week. It should be called shellacking game of the week. That's exactly what SGOW stands for, because You can't even blame it that you didn't have. You had pretty much anybody and everybody. Abhilash, he's there. Jashwant, he's there. Brahma, he's there. Rahul Chenna, he's there. Everybody worth the, who's who in DCL was there. And yet, it was a complete wipe down. I mean, Indus came and dominated the game, and it was just what they were. Their openers pretty much finished the whole thing off. Did they lose any wickets, or was it a no loss?
One
wicket. One wicket. That's it. And Shrikant came on the show, and he did tell us very clearly, "Hey, this game they're going to take it very seriously, and that their openers are going to control the game right from the beginning." And that's exactly what happened. They put the right openers there. I told you last week itself, Parthiv, that you need to send that Chetan up the order, because he's a very straight batsman and he can play he will not gift his wicket to you. You have to earn his wicket. And Manoj is a fantastic player. And guess what? Before you knew it, you had tried 8 bowlers, 7 bowlers. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what was the plan also, because it was like, okay, this is not working. Let's go to this plan. If plan A doesn't work, plan B. Plan B doesn't work, plan C. Plan C doesn't work. We went through 8 different plans. We had nothing. We had absolutely nothing. All I know is all of us believed in the Miles brand name and the image. We liked their players, but what we got was not showcase or game of the week. It was a shellacking. Let's call it for what it was. That noose was 1 mile long for each analyst. A 4 mile long noose, noose was hanging on our necks, and we got hung out to dry. But what can I say? I mean, better early in the season, and it'll be interesting to see how many of us jump onto the Miles bandwagon when the predictions comes out for this week. Because you know what, Partha? We were wondering which game to give showcase game of the week for this week. And when the question was asked to me, I was very clear in my answer. If Miles lose to Troy Hawks, there is no way I'm giving Miles another showcase game of the week. If Miles beats Troy Hawks, then they have 2 wins, and our fighters also have 2 wins. Then it makes it interesting, because we want to make things interesting. But if we can't turn an old 1960 Fiat into a Ferrari. You get my point? Yes, Ferrari and Fiat are owned by the same company, but you can't turn a Fiat into a Ferrari. You need some help from the teams themselves. And but we also like people to come and promote the game. And but at the same time, when you lose, it comes with the territory. It starts with us. When we lose, we say, hey, we got it wrong. The 4 of us got it wrong. Only Parthiv got it right. So he deserves all the credit. He went with this thing. He is the number 1 analyst. He is the number 1 analyst among the 5 of us. Yes. And I'll have to acknowledge that was a gutsy call, because Miles looked like Ferrari, and Indus seemed like their car was spluttering all over the place. But when this game happened, it was a complete turnaround.
It was a calculated call, because I remember explaining why I picked Thunders, because I know Thunders are shaky at the start, but come the 3rd, 4th game, they get into the groove. Same thing with Brownstown. I think a couple of years ago, I had predicted against the Tide against Brownstown, and that was the case, because that diesel engine, remember, the diesel engine takes cranking to get started. Same thing with Indus Thunders. But one thing to note here, MCC Miles, just to add to that point, all 4 games, they have totally different batting order, at least at the start of the order. Brahma has been accompanied by 4 different opening batsmen, partners with them. And we will see when we come to the MCC Miles Troy Hawks game, the guy who hasn't batted yet opens the game, and he's the highest scorer. So
Partha, when you have an abundance of talent, that is a problem, in the sense that you need to rotate the order to give everybody chances, kind of a thing. I get that, but here is the thing. I think what they are missing is the guy Karthik Jayakumar. All right, he used to come out the 1 down spot, and he used to do what who's this? Chetan Dushan does for Indus Thunders. You get my point? He can hold one end up, prevent the loss of wickets, rotate the strike, stay there, and the next thing you know, they control the game. So what they are missing is that guy who Karthik Jayakumar used to come and produce, and there is no Karthik Jayakumar. So somebody else needs to put up their hand and say, you know what? I'm going to be the new Karthik Jayakumar. I'm going to provide the stability. And that may mean that they may not get too many runs at the opening, but that's okay. I mean, I would rather preserve the wickets. And then you have Chennai there and you have Sanjay there, Brahma there. All those guys are very good at accelerating late. The other thing is they also are missing that Sunil Somawarapu. Any idea, KK, where is that Sunil Somawarapu? He's a very good bowler. I don't see him playing any of the games.
Sure where he is, but he definitely is in Michigan.
Okay, I haven't seen him playing any of the Miles games, so I wondered. I think he's on their roster. He played for them last year.
He played one game, I think.
He did? Okay.
So I also have a couple of points or update from this particular game. So we talked about Abhilash, right? Now Abhilash wasn't available for the complete game. Okay, and MCC Miles won the toss and elected to bat first. Okay. After the power play, they filled up with the 10 players. I don't know what is the strategy behind it. If they won the toss and if they wanted to accommodate Abhilash for the bowling and batting both, and also specifically they want to field with 11 people, I would like to, if I'm playing against Indus, I want to at least want 11 fielder on the field, right? You did not have enough. You had a plan to field with the 10 players against the opponent like Indus, and you are expecting to win this game. Sorry, my friend. And also they have a couple of catches also is what I heard that Manoj, they have dropped 1 or 2 catches of Manoj as well at the beginning itself. So how you can, first of all, I believe that strategically mistake, if you already knew that one of your key player might, leave the ground, you should never won the toss and elect to bat first. Based on the new rules, you should be ended up with the 10 player, and that too with the power play, you will have 1 player outside. So
see, Gabaji, it wouldn't have mattered whether they bat first or bowl first. I mean, it would have been the same effect because they would have still had to play with 10 players under the new rules. If a person leaves early, that is the penalty which they are paying.
There is a concept of logical end. So Abhilash could have batted on the second inning and would have left, and there is no impact to it.
Right.
But you're saying that he didn't even last 12 overs. As soon as he finished his batting, he left.
He was there till the complete first inning, and then he left. So whatever the time he left, it doesn't matter. They will end up with the 10 player is for the fielding side is what the rule is.
Yes, but the thing is that that depends on the supposition that at least Abhilash can last for 1 over after the break is over, after the innings break is over.
It doesn't matter. Even if he leaves at 20th over, 5 over, they have to field with 10 player. It doesn't matter. I think you have to read the rule properly on this aspect.
Parthiv, I don't think that's the rule.
No, that's not the rule. KK.
Okay, Gabaji, you are not clear on the rules, my friend.
You guys are not reading properly.
No. This is not correct. Like I think KK clearly said.
Let's park the discussion for some other day. I'm very clear about it.
Okay.
This is like you are punishing only the fielding team second.
No, not really, Satya. Not really, because see. For a team which is batting first, their logical end is at the end of the game. For the team which is fielding first, for any player, the logical end is when he's done with his responsibility. You're done. You can leave. But when the team is fielding second, the responsibility is those guys have to field the 25 overs. So their game is not done.
Yeah, so I would highly recommend in the rule book, we have enumerated every possible scenario.
Yeah, 7, 8.
Take a look at those. I think that is explained when something happens in the middle of the innings, at the end of the innings. All those scenarios have been explained from the batting and the bowling side. But yes, I think what Gabaji said was spot on. The logical end is when the player can leave. Like if he's batting second, if he goes open and he gets out, or that's the logical end of his game. So he can leave after that.
So, sir, let me tell this to our viewers, and if any of the captains are watching, right? If any of your player needs to leave early, field first, so that he can bat and leave.
that is logical. I don't understand how is this even something that
It's logical
that
end.
should
What he will do in sitting in the duck, right? He done with the fielding, bowling, and batting. It's the logical end for him for that game.
and a lot of players leave. That's not. I mean, even yesterday when I was playing, somebody got out and he left. I mean,
In the second innings, of course, right?
Yeah, second innings. Yes, second innings. Yes. All right, more to come on that. If
And speaking of the showcased game of the week, there is one game, Stars versus Legends, which we picked in the past. That's going on live now. Legends are at 68 for 8. The 24th
Yep.
over.
yeah, we're closely following that game, so we will keep an eye on that. So let's move on to the next game. We have a lot of games to cover. So the next game is Motor City
Parthiv, hold on. I'm looking at the rule book. Okay, what you guys are saying is not what the rule book is saying. All right, the rule book. Scenario 1: Team A batting first. All right, Team A player leaves the ground after his batting, which is what Abhilash did. Right, Gabaji?
No, he bowled too.
No, I'm not sure if he bowled or not, but he was there till the whole inning is what my understanding is. I do not know at exactly what point he left.
Okay.
But if you have to, please do not go to the conclusion after just reading one scenario. I would request you read all those 7 or 8 scenarios and then come for any.
No. Each scenario is different.
Okay, can you pull up Satya if you want to continue?
Yeah. No, I mean scenario 1. Let me ask you. Okay, in this game, who batted first?
Miles
batted first. So scenario 1 applies there. Team A batting first. Team A player leaves the ground after his batting, but before the end of the first inning. All right.
First inning.
Before the end of the first inning. That is at the break. You get my point. The complete inning has to get over. All right?
Right.
Or whenever he leaves, that's fine. But if he leaves at after 12 overs, or it doesn't matter whether it leaves at the end of 20 overs, as long as the second inning hasn't started, if he has left, the team A basically says that you should if he leaves, he has to field before the end of the team A should bat with 10 and field with 10 players.
Correct. So that's what Miles did. That's what Miles did. No, that's what Miles did. Miles
played the 10 wickets, right? That what does it mean? That the Abhilash might have left after the inning, after the first inning is completed. I don't know yet. We can ask
and team A player leaves before after his batting, but only at the end of the first inning. Team A should field with 10 players. Basically, that's what is happening. They fielded with 10 players.
Scenario 2 suits here based on the information that I have. Scenario 2 suits on this in this particular game.
Yeah, so whatever it is, they paid the penalty. They fielded with 10 players.
Right. We are not debating on that. I think what Satish was saying, that they knew that Abhilash had to leave before, so they should have fielded first.
Yeah, you should read other scenarios so that you will have better understanding of all the aspect of it.
Okay, anyway, rather than arguing over this, we'll come back and re-educate everybody after we go over everything. But let's continue.
All right, next game was Motor City Strikers. So I was obviously playing the game, so I have first-hand knowledge, but I would like Vamsi to analyze this game and tell us more about how the game went.
Well, Parthiv, this is the game from the last weekend where... Just a second. It was Motor City, right? Okay. Then,
yes.
Yep. Motor City batted first in this particular game. I think they had a very good start, especially their opener and the one-down batsman, Ram. They both batted well. It was a decent start. At the break time, they were 36 for 2, 38 for 3. But after that, in the next 13 overs, they could only accumulate 30 runs or so, 30 to 40 runs. Because you see the partnership, there are now no partnerships, and more than that, you don't see any other player getting into the double digits. But again, Strikers gave us 16 runs, which meant Motor City only scored 63. And even the last week, we've talked about Motor City's batting. That's their biggest weak link. Coming to Strikers, they used 7 bowlers. And Parthiv, you're not the captain, but I'll come back to you and ask this question. Why 7 bowlers when your top bowlers are already doing well? But we'll come back to that. Why only 1 over to Dinesh and all those questions. But let's go to strikers batting as well, because Padhu has been consistently opening the batting this season. He also played a good innings yesterday, scoring double digits. But it's good to see Dinesh come up the batting order. In most of the games, I saw him come 5-6 down, try to hit those big hits and finish those innings. But now I see more opportunities coming up the order for him. The skipper is batting well in most of the games. He has been scoring. Even in the first game against Glads, he played a phenomenal knock. Parag, we know Parag is probably the most consistent batsman for strikers over the years. I think with all the experience that strikers had, I think they were able to pull this game very easily, finishing it in 15 overs.
Yep. So Vamsi, to answer your question, as I mentioned at the start of the season, we have a few youngsters which we've got, and 3 or 4 debutants which we haven't played DCL at all. So this was an opportunity for us to try them out a little bit more. The likes of Adit, he's new, he's bowled in the first game, and glad he did really well. So we want to continue persevering him. We gave Sagar a chance. He's never bowled, but he's always been hungry to bowl, so we gave him a chance. And Vinay obviously is a new bloke. So kind of using this opportunity, Motor City, we with all due respect, is an opportunity for us to kind of test some of our lineup, especially in the bowling, to make sure that come the big game, we can expose and get some experience behind these guys as well. So yeah, as long as I've been just to add to your point you have said about Dinesh. Yes, he is definitely being one of our strong batting backbone. He's definitely coming up at the ranks, and hopefully you'll see more of some of these knocks in the season.
And did Dinesh bowl 2 height no balls, 2 beamers?
No, actually, Dinesh has been having some problems with the run up, and that's something he's trying to correct. But yes, some sideline cutting, which is due to his action.
It's very rare, right? When you see an opening bowler only bowling 1 over, and taken out of the attack and 2 nobs in the extras.
Yep.
So I thought maybe 2 beamers, but yeah.
Yep.
Back to you.
Yep. Overall, I think it was a pretty convincing game. We would have liked to give less extras, but we'll take the 5 points and move along. I think we covered local boys SSK, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yep. All right, we'll go to Gladiators and Hitmen. Again, this game is another one of the Group B. So I'll go to Vamsi, but before that, I just add, Hitmen is a very good team. We played them last evening, so I know firsthand information that they are not rollovers. So this was definitely a game that wasn't going to be easy for Glads. Would you agree, Vamsi?
Definitely. I mean, Glads have not been at their A game throughout this season, right? Because they lost to strikers, and even the next game, I think their batting was tested. Even though they played the entire 25 overs, I think their batting was definitely tested. And Hitmen have a good bowling lineup, but I think Glads with their experience were able to pull this game out very easily. Although they lost 6 wickets, I would not say that it's a very tightly fought contest, because the game is over in the 16th over. That's a very comfortable win in my opinion. But let's look at the scorecard, right? For Hitmen, I don't think they helped themselves because there's no one else who supported Chetan and Emon Kabir. I'm seeing Emon's name for the first time, but Chetan Venkatesh, he played for Hitmen for the last 2 seasons as well. He's a good bowler, bowling all-rounder, I would say, but in this game he batted well, scoring 22 out of 52, which means he was there for most of the Hitmen innings. Right, and if you actually see he's the 9th batsman out. He actually came in at 1 down, 2 down, and he played throughout. He played for close to 20 overs. But it's a good bowling performance from Glads as well. Jeet economical, 2 wickets for 6 runs. Then Sean, it's good to see Sean picking wickets, and there are no extras from Sean. And Anup, whom Viju claims as the best Glads bowler on the roster now. He picked up 3 wickets, and the skipper Satya, he himself picking up 3 wickets.
This was a game I was expecting the whole Glad lineup to show up, because it's a Tuesday night game. So no 40s and 20s hurdles. So, and they did show up. I mean, pretty much everyone was there.
Mhm.
Yeah, Biju, what
This
would
was
you
Saturday
like
game.
to add?
And
This was Saturday
it
game.
was a
This
Saturday
was
game.
Saturday game?
It was a Saturday game.
Oh,
Yeah, and let's look at Glad's batting as well, right? Because when it comes to Glad's batting, when was the last time you saw Arjun go for a golden duck, the first ball? I've not seen that, at least in last few
it,
years.
it, it was a mirror image of how he got out against us. I think almost the same way. I mean, he went and he got a top edge and he got caught somewhere on the leg side. I mean, I saw the dismissal, and it was kind of a mirror image of how he got out against us. So,
Yep. And Sean, Anup both got starts, the 15 and 13 runs. Then Hardeep has been playing a little slow this season. Even in the game against Strikers, the full toss balls were being defended. Not sure why. Maybe he's gearing up for the later half of the season. Not really sure the reasons why, but yeah, Glad's finished comfortably. Although there were a couple of ducks in that innings.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Yeah. I think we could have finished it with the loss of 4 wickets, but the thing is that again, your last 2 runs to win, 3 runs to win, you send whoever wants to go to bat kind of a thing. So, but having said that, I think Arun paid the price for not having that one-on-one with you, Parthiv, ahead of the game. He did not do that, and he paid the price, and the price was a loss. You get my point. But I did not say Anup is our best bowler. He's certainly one of our better bowlers, but he's our best bowler to left-handers. That's what I meant.
Okay.
To left-handers, if you have when Kishore is an excellent left-hander for Parthiv, we did not keep Anup for him. You get my point. But if I was the skipper, Anup would not bowl anything more than 2 overs. I would have kept Anup all the way till Kishore comes to bat. Simple as that. Because there are some people who are exceptional at bowling to certain type of players, and Kishore would have his hands full if Anup is bowling to him. So that's all I said was Anup is our best bowler to left-handers.
Understood. Yep. I vaguely remember that comment from our previous.
Okay. So I do think Anup and Shan did great with the bat and with the ball. Suyog was fantastic with his attacking batting style. But if you ask me, the man of the match says Shan, but I think this is again, my personal opinion was the real man of the match is Satya, because he was bowling outstanding. 4 overs, he bowled outstanding. The last over, he should not have bowled because he's tiring out after bowling 2 overs. So the third over, you're tired. You don't have the same stamina. They hit you for 8 runs. So you take that 8 runs out. He basically has conceded what just 6 runs. You see, so he's picked up 3 wickets, but key wickets. Ball was moving. It was. It had the necessary movement. It had the necessary action. I honestly thought that it was one of the best bowling performances he has bowled in a long time. So he was justified in bowling himself for 5 overs, but I think he probably might want to pace himself as to how much energy does he have left after 2 overs. That's the key to the thing. But I think for Hitman, Abdul Malik, Parthiv, he has played for Glad's in indoors. And I know this guy, he's a phenomenal bowler. I was expecting to see Abdul Malik against strikers, but he did not play against strikers. So there was a reason I picked Hitman to beat strikers, and that was I was thinking Abdul Malik will come and he would be a handful, but he did not play. The Hitman bowling, I think their batting is okay, but their bowling, the 4th or 5th bowler can be taken around, especially if Abdul Malik is not playing, because Arun can bowl and, a couple of other guys can bowl well there. But when, Santosh Kadikuntla starts coming in and a couple of other guys who are just looping the ball comes in, they might pick up wickets, but you will find that they always go for runs. Even against strikers, you will find that Kadikuntla went for 15 runs or 16 runs in, I don't know, 1 over or 2 overs or something like that. But he did pick up 3 wickets. But having said that, I thought I'll agree with Parthu on one thing. Hitman is a much improved team from prior years. But what's probably working against them is that they have two losses now, and they can't afford too many more losses, especially in those 50-50 games where they are expected to win those 50-50 games, because the stars are going to have their victories, and the other powerhouses will probably have their victories. So they are going to be fighting with the likes of strikers and probably a couple of other teams. So then, if you look at it, strikers with 3 games, 15 points are sitting golden, whereas Arun and company, they are
14.
yeah, they're well, yeah, they are literally sitting in a tough position, is what I feel.
Yep. Well, yes, and I think they're the form of their the premier bowler. I think Arun Shankar. I think that is also affecting them. Yeah, I think in this game, he got only one wicket. Even yesterday, he wasn't on the mark. I felt like he was much better than what I saw him yesterday. So I think that's also impacting their performances.
Sometimes you feel the pressure that you have to give a lot of people bowling, but I don't know,
Right.
if you're the skipper, your first job is to win the game, not to give everybody bowling.
Yep. I think that's something which it's easier said than done, because I know I've been in that shoes where it's always like you always think about others first, and you tend to kind of put yourself behind. It's always the case.
Yeah, that happens also. That happens also in the man of the match. The skipper always demotes himself and gives the man of the match to somebody else.
Right. Well, this game, Sterling Strikers Spartans, we've been not been giving a lot of credit to Sterling Strikers ever since their players have moved over to KRCC, some of the big heavyweights. But somehow they've found good talent and have been able to post really good wins so far. So credit to Sterling Strikers, they haven't really bogged down in spite of these players moving along. So this is another game where they were able to comfortably beat Spartans. I'll go with Satish. Satish, since it's a Group C game, let us know what you think about this game.
So yeah, I think from the aspect of the score, I would say that Spartan has fought well, while chasing 116 and getting close to 89. From the kind of batting that they were showing from the last two games, I think they fought well, I would say. But again, this particular game also, the toss decision surprised me. Spartan won the toss and elected to field first. I don't know why, because they were already struggling. I think they might have more confidence at this point with their bowling than the batting. I don't know why, but that is how the result shows. They won the toss and elected to field first and given a chance to Sterling Striker. Even though Sterling Striker do not have couple of their hard hitter, but Sterling Striker team is always known for their hard hitting capabilities. So I would not like to let them score at the beginning itself and putting myself on the back foot, and that too when I do not have the strongest bowling unit from my pool side. So that is my first observation. But surprisingly, Spartan started really good. Their Hiren got 2 wicket for none. They were like 2.3 over. They were 2 wicket down, and they could not. Sterling Striker could not score even a single run. But
Wow.
later on, the captain Hassan Ansari came and had a good partnership with Wajahat. They both scored 26 and 21 respectively, and then they added around 56 run partnership there. And I think from there after the Spartans was out of the slowly and gradually they are out of the game. And after that, whoever came, Ranveer is a special mention who scored 16 run in 17 ball. But I think below that they did not get enough support still because of the good start and then rotating and scoring, trying to score on each ball. I think they managed to score 116. Considering the Spartan bowling now, if you see, as I mentioned, Hiren Patel got the first 2 wickets on the very first 2 overs, where he got 2 wickets for no wicket, no runs. And after that, I think Akshay also got some wicket in the lower middle order side of it. Again, another thing that surprised me, if you see Abhishek Singh stats, he bowled 3 overs, 5 runs, and 1 wicket. He is the guy who has got them a breakthrough of getting the Hassan Ansari's wicket, right? Even after
Yeah.
these good stats and he was the first change. He could not complete his quota. I don't know why he had not been given another 2 overs, when even though who came after him also there, he has much better economy on that day. I don't know what was the thought processing of not completing his quota, because he looks like with the stats he was doing extraordinary.
Yeah, and they were very generous with the wides as well.
Yeah,
Spartans, if you look at 23 wides, and I
23
think that
white,
is,
yeah.
that is
22 white
probably
and
the
then no
difference
ball. Yeah,
maker. Yep, that is the difference maker. I mean, they won by 27 runs. Out of that,
yep,
23 were extras.
that's true. But yeah, that Abhishek Singh not bowling another 2 overs surprised me from their bowling, Spartans bowling. From Spartans batting side, I think when they came to the chasing for 116 run, it is little difficult to score 116 run against the Sterling striker. They have a decent bowling attack too. Uh, and Ishwar, I think their captain started the inning and got out without scoring any run. And after that, the Tayyak Ismail, as I mentioned about this guy, but I think he played his first game but could not do much in this particular game. Other than Akhil and Hiren Patel had the good performance with the bat as well. They tried to get Spartan back on the game, and Anand has also supported, but I think 115 odd run or too par for Spartans to score. But I would I commend Spartans batting to score 89 runs while chasing 169 and not just surrendering like what has happened in the first two games where they were just scoring about 35-40 odd runs. So, and from the bowling aspect, I think Hassan and Ranveer Singh both were having three wickets, and Ranveer had batting performed from the batting and bowling side both, and has been elected as the man of the match. So I think it was a good job. Ranveer Singh is a new addition to the Sterling striker, and I think they are utilizing Ranveer effectively.
Is that the same Ranveer Singh from the Punjab Warriors?
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Yep.
yep.
Okay.
I think this is the fourth team. This is the fourth team Parthu I'm seeing him on, because he started with Punjab Warriors, then he went to GLCC, then he went to with the champions KRCC, and now I'm
Yeah.
seeing him. Now I'm seeing him on this team. So he seems to be having grass is greener on the other side syndrome. You see.
Yep. But one thing, one thing that popped in my mind, I wanted to ask you guys, as a captain or as a team person, how much of a score when you're batting first would you feel safe? We've seen scores like increasing over this week now. Obviously, what was 60s and 70s the first week or second week, now it's getting to the 90s and the hundreds. Do you think like if you score 100 batting first, you feel
It all
secure?
depends, right,
Yeah.
Parthiv? It all depends on how strong your bowling lineup is and a lot of other conditions. If you're playing in Ann Arbor grounds, probably 75, 80. Team batting first would be comfortable because you know that by the second innings the pitch would deteriorate vastly when you compare it to grounds like DSP. Right?
Parthiv, yesterday the game which you had against Hitman, the ball which got Santosh Kumar Kadikuntla. I mean, look at the bounce on that ball. You get my point? Now you tell me, with that kind of bounce, obviously good batting teams are going to greatly relish their chances, and you probably are going to see a lot more sixes, which is what I think is happening, because now that the weather has become warmer, the ball is bouncing more, and the bounce seems to come back. Also, the grounds are better. Again, I think KK's point of playing in Ann Arbor versus playing here are definitely this thing. So I think that target obviously would vary depending upon the circumstances.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
to answer to Parthi's question, around 100 run will always be comfortable. If you are able to get that 100 run, you are putting additional pressure to your opponent while chasing.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's what I was also feeling. Like, no matter what ground or what opponent, once my team crosses the 3-figure mark, I feel a little more, I won't say secure, but a little more comfortable in the sense that yes, now we can go and try to defend it. Anything below that, I feel we'll have to bowl out of our skins to kind of win it, no matter what the conditions are. So
Yeah. Having said that, when you give 23 wides, a 100-run game becomes a 75-run game, right?
Yep.
Because I think 10 wides is okay, but when you are giving 23 wides, you got to ask, hey, are some of these guys capable of bowling?
Not just that, Vijay, because see, the batsmen are so close to the dugout, especially in the DCL setup, that once you get one or two wides, the first voice that comes out is, "We got enough runs for the over." The batsmen still play with the mindset that okay, we scored those 2 runs. They don't count it as extras. So that pressure always keeps mounting in this setup.
That's true.
And also, it also depends. Are you playing league games or playoffs? Because in playoffs, an 80 score looks like 100. A 100 score looks like 120.
Yep, I agree.
Hmm.
All good points. All right, let's go to the next game. The next game was, I think, the game of the week, even though it wasn't something that we had predicted or we had nominated as the showcase game of the week, but it was definitely the game of the week. The defending champions had their first upset. Definitely an upset. I would say fighters, relatively new, relatively getting their grasp. But we all know they are a good team. They've shown performances, but this was quite unexpected. This was something that we thought KRCC had the ammunition to kind of go and take fighters out, even though they would come close. But we always thought KRCC had the upper hand here, but that wasn't the case. Something that I felt KRCC I think rely a lot on Tamim Oni and Jasneet, both of whom I feel haven't really woken up. So I think they need to smell the coffee and wake up. Even in the last game, I saw Jasneet, and I noticed that he was again, very, very pedestrian in terms of how he went about with his innings. This case too, if you see 16 runs of 4 balls, that isn't the Jasneet Singh that I've seen. He generally takes on after that, but unfortunately, he's got out at the stage where the team expects him to kind of launch from there. And Tamim Oni, that's as I mentioned, he's the guy who, if he doesn't shine, then there's pressure. But this time, I thought, they had the backup. They had Raza Ali, they had Ali Abbas, they had the backup. So if in case Tamim fails, they had some other big hitters or consolidators who could take it. Sahesh played as well. That he's a good addition, both bowling and batting wise. So all in all, if you see the 11, there was no one you could say that they were missing. But fighters, credit to them, and I mentioned about Sai from our olden years, Falcon guy, super fit. Another great innings. I think last time too, he was the sole contributor for them in terms of the batting, and here as well, he's showing the style of the old. 25 in a tight run chase, along with that late partnership with Suhas. Just made the difference. I think KRCC bowled really tight. So if you look at the score, I mean, 84 runs over all hard runs that fighters got. So I missed the bonus point, but I think fighters would be really relishing these 4 points and giving them a really good chance now to qualify for the playoffs. So, Viju, I would like you to add more color to that. I'm pretty sure you were waiting for this game.
Parthav, this was an exceptional game from fighters. All right, so let's give them the credit. But Parthav, let me ask you, even now, even with this loss, I still think KRCC is the odds-on favorite to take the title. I mean, if there is somebody else, I would like to know who that is, because right now in my book, KRCC is the odds-on favorite to win the title because they have the best bowling attack and their batting is... you rate them to have the best batting attack. I don't rate them to be the best batting attack, but they are definitely top 5 batting attack for me. So they have batting, they have bowling, they have pretty good fielding. I feel Yogesh has all the weapons at his disposal. Yes, they probably did not expect to lose this game, but I think it is the opposition who took the game away from them because almost on any other day, they probably can defend 83 with the kind of bowlers which they have because, you have Mufi, you had Oni, and then now you have Sahesh and Jasneet. And, who do you attack? You probably have to attack Raza Ali. That's probably where you're going to go after attacking. I mean, that's really and that's not really too many good options if you are facing them. But let's give credit to the fighters. I think Suhesh Ravi played out of his mind. I mean, it was a phenomenal innings, and I think Naveen Kumar Peddy, he hit Mufi for a six.
Yep.
Now you tell me how many people can hit Mufi for a six. But if you want to beat KRCC, this is where it becomes. You have to take on somebody, and you have to take on Mufi. I know that it's easier said than done, because the ball is not where you think it is going to be when you try to attack him. But he doesn't have the pace of an Oni, and he's relying upon movement to get the job done. But if you can connect it, and you can time it well, that ball is going to go. And I think once you can hit one or two sixes, he starts losing his rhythm, and he starts losing his line and length and everything. But if you give him a set target, that guy is lights out, probably the best bowler in Michigan. But you have to attack him, and I think you have to attack others like Sahesh too, because Sahesh also, the first 3 overs or the 4 overs, his stats were outstanding. And then when he came back the second time, they started taking him on. So I think the middle order deserves great credit, because Suhesh and Mahesh and Naveen and Sidhu, they all got the job done. They hung in there, but it was a phenomenal win. I don't think any of us saw that coming. But their openers, Anil didn't click, but Moon clicked. And then Sainath was the Sainath of old. I mean, he played a fantastically perfect innings. In a chase, I think he did a phenomenal job. So give them all the credit in the world. I mean, I wouldn't be too disturbed about the KRCC loss. It was a narrow loss. It was a close game, but I still think they are the odds-on favorite to win the title again.
Yep.
I
I
want to
think
say
to
something
answer your
about, I want to add something about Naveen Peddy. You
Okay.
want to get Naveen Peddy out. I think you should not bowl your best bowler to him, because he has the knack of hitting those good bowlers out of the park, but getting out for your part timers.
Okay.
Because I remember he hit Sandy, the left arm spinner, for back to back sixes in
Okay.
previously. He hit few good bowlers out of the park, and in this game
Okay.
he hit Mufi for a six.
Okay.
Just to answer your question, Viju, I think yes, KRCC on paper looks the most threatening and the most heavyweights, if you call it. But I still feel they've got quite a few new players, and right now it looks like a team of 11 individuals rather than a team. So the day when it starts to kind of morph itself into a team, I think you'll start seeing a lot more consistent results.
Oh, okay, Parthu, are you telling me that the loss of Maulik and Ronnie, in return they got Raza Ali and Ali Abbas and Haider Syed Mujtaba Haider? I don't you think that the incoming talent is better than the outgoing talent?
Yes, in terms of talent-wise, yes, but in terms of team play, I think Ronnie and Maulik, I would rate them higher because of the fact that I think they were more closer. The Jasneet, Maulik, Ronnie, Yogi Bai, I think those kind of form the core, and the rest of the players kind of played around it. Now I think the core is kind of shaken. I don't know who the core is. Maybe Jasneet and Yogi Bai are the only two people I can see in that 11 who would be the core. Rest of everyone is kind of relatively an individual contributor.
Because on top of that, they got Sahesh Wasan too. So you add those four guys. I mean, just on paper, the talent is much more, is what I felt.
Absolutely, I do not disagree with that. But again, as I said, it's not just the individual contributors. They need to start gelling as a team as well, and that will probably come eventually. But I think that was something which I'll be looking forward to seeing. All right, next game I'm going to breeze through because it's kind of a one-sided game. Troy Hawks really getting a field day against the Phantoms. I think a couple of great performances down the order. If you see in the middle, Somsekaran Peri and Sasi Raghupati and Nidin Kolu. All of them, had a really great day with the bat. 55 not out in any form of the game is a great score. In just 27 balls. So if you look at that unbelievable innings, I think he just completely went berserk with 6 sixes. and Phantoms really had no answer really to that onslaught. And once you posted a 170 total, 170, as I said, anything above 120 is hard, but 170 is almost impossible. And Phantoms found out really soon. Troy Hawks, did a really good job in trying to doing a cleanup and making sure that the victory was impressive. Pretty much everybody got the wicket. Everybody who rolled their arm, pretty much everybody got the wicket. Rightly, they nominated Nidhi as the man of the match. So, a very comprehensive victory for Troy Hawks, and they get the 5 points. Phantoms still seeking for their first win this season. Vamsi, you had a question? You raised your hand. You're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, go back to the Troy Hawks batting. I want to show something.
Satya, if you can go back.
They ended up at 179, but scroll down, Satya. Let's look at the scorecard after much down. Yeah, at 21.3 they were at 109, which means in the last 21 balls they scored 70 runs.
Ooh, wow!
In 3.3 overs they scored 70 runs, which is like 20 runs an over.
Who was the unfortunate bowler that they got whacked up so badly? There must be a bowler
right there, 1 over 25 runs.
Wow. Yeah, I completely missed that. Wow.
Yeah, I have not seen such a finish in a long time.
I don't think I've ever seen such a finish.
No, you look at 2 overs for 28 runs from Krishna. In fact, it is that that last 3 guys, Krishna, Sandeep, and sorry, Satya, you went.
Nidhi, right?
Yep, you see 14, 21,
no,
and 23.
See, there you go. There is the damage, you see. 14, 21, and 23.
23, yes. That's what the impetus was.
Yes.
Wow.
And those 3, in 3 overs, if you concede that much runs, I mean, Lord help you. But
yes. Teams have been scoring 70 runs in 25 overs, and Troy Hawks scored 70.
But I think it's that Nitin who just took them to the cleaners.
True.
55 in 27 balls. This is like IPL style scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. It's Surya Kumar style.
It is very hard to see people person is scoring 50 in 200 strike rate. So I think kudos.
Yeah, anybody who has a 100 plus strike rate, I have great respect for them in DCL.
Yeah, in the DCL, scoring on 100 strike rate is very good actually. But he scored on 200 strike.
200 for that many balls.
Parthil, this again comes back to the question, the skipper. I mean, he has to. The question is, do we reward all the people and let them all bowl, or do we go for the win? So this is where a quick question has to be answered. So if you really want to be one of the top teams, I don't think you can have 9 and 10 bowlers or 8 and 9 bowlers bowl. You'll have to go with your best options, especially when people have bowled 3 overs 12 runs and 3 overs 15 runs and 4 overs 11 runs, and they are not finishing their quota.
So I have another interesting question with you. There are 2 current captains and 2 ex-captains on the show. So my question is, what do you prefer? A batsman averaging, say, 15 runs a game, striking it over 100 strike rate, or a batsman averaging 15 runs a game, striking at 50 strike rate?
Both are averaging 15?
Yes, both are averaging 15, give or take, but one scores at a strike rate of 100, the other is technically very good, he strikes at 50.
I would take them both because I think we need.
You only have to pick one. You get to a point where you have to pick one. What would be the difference?
I think I'll pick the one who has a better strike rate, I guess.
Yeah, if I have to pick one, I also go with the same. Like if somebody is scoring 15 ball on each game, I will pick him.
Right. And I think the reason is because I can always find the other guy. I mean, the guy who is not playing at 100% strike rate. There are many people who I can find. But to find someone who's consistently playing 100 plus, I think it's hard to find in DCL.
The point is, when you come to strike rate, right? This guy who strikes at more than 100, he can just strike 50 or 60 in one game. In the next 3 games, he can have scores of 0, 1, 1. Or the guy who's
Could be.
because with the guys who score at 50 strike rate, when was the last time you see them scoring a 50? He has to play through all 25 overs to get to a 50.
Right, right. Yeah, as I said, there's value for both.
Hmm.
But the way the game is changing, I think you need those impact players. I mean, even in IPL, you see, it's no longer 50s and 100s now. It's anybody who makes an impact of 30, 40 runs in that 15 balls, that's the game now.
Even to further clarify on your question, actually, if you see, right, every team, most of the team has a strategy where in the middle order they want a player who are actually playing on the 50-60 strike rate, maybe one top order batsman who can at least try to play on the 100 strike rate, and then two batsmen little down the order who can actually play the strike rate. The most of the team on every side of the team, I would say every team might have a different strategy, but that is the strategy I have seen a lot of team follows.
Yep. The middle overs are very crucial.
Middle is very crucial, where they want people to stabilize and play from 6 to 16 over with 50-60 strike rate, and then accelerate from 16 to 25 over.
Next game, guys.
All right, next game. Next game, I think, is another one which is a easy win for Red Devils. Red Devils is definitely a team to watch out for. These guys are no longer the old Safaris. They've got quite a few good batsmen, especially Gagan Singh, 76 of 80. Again, a phenomenal strike rate of 95 for that many. That much duration and that many balls is obviously great. 4 big sixes. Definitely our performer of the week could have been if Thunderbolts, if it was any other team who would have given them a run for the money. But since this was something which was an easy rollover, I think that the value of the inning kind of does not get into that game changer of the week. But nevertheless, Red Devils, I think, once they had that 130, got the ball and really demolished Thunderbolts. I think Thunderbolts hasn't been even close to what they were a couple of years ago, or even last year. I think they had a couple of good wins, but this year hasn't started really well for them. I mean, if you look at the score, I think there was another previous scorecard, if I remember, which was all very similar to this, which was single digits. No one really contributing when your highest scorer in is 6 extras. I mean, that's something which I don't know. Vamsi, you might want to investigate if that's ever happened. Oh, there is an 8. Sorry, I missed that. But definitely, I mean, the second highest scorer on the scorecard. So a very, very disappointing day for Thunderbolts. I think a huge loss, and hope this triggers them into actually reconsidering some of the changes, bringing some new talent, bringing some new changes in their batting and bowling order.
Parthiv, I was very curious to see how that Tayyab Sajid Khan does. I do not know if you guys realize, but that guy is an under-19 Pakistan player. You can reserve. I mean, he's supposed to be on their A team or whatever it is, and played fast bowling or something like that. That's what the website says. If you do a research, Satya, can you do a quick search on that Tayyab Sajid Khan? But I was curious how he is going to do, because that was supposed to be the big ad. But it looks like Gagan had no problem with him at all, because obviously, if you ask me, Tayyab, Deepak, and Devnath, they are 3 good bowlers. I mean, I've never seen Tayyab, but I'm just assuming that he's supposed to be really good. I mean, without being really good, you probably don't end up going to. But Satya, can you do a search on what this guy's capability was, or his international experience or something like that? I mean, somebody sent that to me earlier, and then I had one of my teammates ask me also, who is this Tayyab Sajid Khan kind of a thing. See that Pakistan cricket team? So you see that PCB. So that's yeah. So if this is the same person, then you see that 18 years, 330 days, and things like that.
But this doesn't look like the PCB website. I'm sorry to say, but it looks quite dodgy to me.
PCB.com.pk, Parthiv. I mean, I think that is.
I don't know. unless their web is really bad. I mean, the design looks like so bad that I felt like, oh, this cannot be. Yeah,
Okay.
but it could be that they haven't updated. Okay.
What happens if you click on About PCB there? There is a PCB, About PCB there. Satya, on that thing, there is something which says About PCB or Contact Us or whatever it is, About PCB or something.
No,
Yeah,
you're right.
Contact Us.
Yeah. It is their
See,
site. Okay.
it's Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore.
Yeah. It is their site, but it's just their web is probably 90s design.
All right, Parthiv, I think there is a supari out on you this weekend, my friend. There is going to be a lot of my good friends from Pakistan coming out to do a supari on you this weekend. Are you playing this weekend?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Say a proper goodbye to everybody at home and then only step out on the field.
Well, but yeah, if you say he's an under 19 guy, I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is a different ball, to give him credit. But yeah, I mean, we definitely look forward to seeing him.
Yeah, I mean, I was curious to see how he does, but looks like Gagan had no problem, or somebody forgot to tell Gagan that this was so and so. So he seemed to have a field day there.
Right. All right. What is the next game we have, Satya? I think the next game is the big game, the Star Pokeries, right? Wow, this was a game which I think was doing the rounds on WhatsApp. Unfortunately, our friend Hari Paramkusham did not record the game. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to see those three big sixes from Ravi Teja to Neo. But what a phenomenal innings. 61 of 56, 100% strike rate in a game which is against Pokris, obviously three-time finalists. It is, one of the tough opponents that you would play against. And he single-handedly, I mean, if you look at the scorecard, apart from Mahesh starting, 10 runs, it was all Ravi Teja show. 61 out of the 113. Pokris bowled well, but there was Ravi Teja at one end. Good to see Vignesh back in action. He's definitely one of the most cunning, I would say, bowler in DCL. It's hard to pick him. He's always on top of things, and then obviously Saran Raj, Neil, and all those known culprits from Pokris, they were on song. But Vignesh was the only guy who was able to kind of consistently kind of pick wickets. He got 5 wickets, but I think the 113 was a little too much for Pokris. And from what I heard from Avi, our fellow panelists, it was a chanceless innings. It was something that was even he was in awe of the innings. And rightly, I think we've awarded him. We've chosen him as the game changer of the week. Going to the Pokris scorecard, and this is a Group B game. So I would like Vamsi to also chime in here. Vamsi, what did you feel about Ravi Teja's innings? Were you there at the ground?
I was not at the ground, but we've heard.
Yep. Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Hmm. Hmm.
Why is our friend Vamsi frozen? Or is it just me?
I can hear him, but it looks like he's
Yeah.
frozen.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Partho, what can I say? The 5 analysts got hung out like this, right? Like our hung out reindeer. We got.
Wasn't it 7-0?
It
Yeah,
was.
it was. It was. I'm
Yeah,
just saying the
let's
5.
hang Sanjay and who's the other person?
Shrikant.
Srikanth
Srikanth.
as well. Yeah.
Srikanth, yeah. Everyone was on the Pokri's side, you know. I mean, I mean, I'm stunned, you know. I mean, we have, remember, Partha, we talked about the judge, jury, and executioner. Well, in this case, the judge was the empire. The jury, if you ask me, was Parankusam, because I'll tell you why he's the jury. Because Parankusam got a terrific run out to get Saran out, you see. And Saran, if you ask me, is the key person you have to get out. And I'm going to, in a moment, I'm going to ask Satya to explain how Parankusam got Saran out, because our friend Satya, as soon as the Glads game was over, brotherly love caused him to go out and watch the Pokeries in action, you know, because he was out there to support his good friend, the Pokeri skipper, which is well, Ranjit there, you see. But by the way, does anybody row? Where is Ravi Narala? He never used to
He
miss
was there.
DCL.
He was there in the dugout.
So he didn't play this game.
He didn't play. He has some issue in the leg, so he's
Okay.
looking for some doctor. Yeah.
Oh, he's usually one of the fittest people that I know. So I'm surprised. Okay. Well, because I didn't see him the previous game too, so that's why I asked the question. But the executioner was Teja. I mean, this was what an execution, right? I mean, it is a fantastic execution. It was against his former team. He came out, I guess, motivated to show them what they were missing and what they gave up. But I'll be honest, Parthiv, I was shocked to see the shellacking. I didn't think it could be this one-sided, but it was one-sided. I did not expect that at all. But you know, I think Pokeries also need to probably send Saran up the order. He was doing fantastic at the opening spot. So if he was doing that well at the opening spot, do we really need to bring him now into 2 down, 3 down spot? I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's the same thing Vignesh was doing pretty good at the 1 down spot. But
I think
I think, yeah.
Viju,
I think
the best way, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Since Sharan and Satish up the order, get Vignesh 1 down, get Neil 2 down.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think they need to think through again. Remember, Ranjit has just taken over, so he probably has some of his ideas, and he deserves an opportunity to try out his ideas. But again, for me,
And
when something is working, I don't like tinkering too much with it. So if Saran is doing great at the opening spot, then I would, you know, keep him there because.
and
And
also
yeah,
and
Ranjit
also
playing,
and also KK, if you see right, Gautam is a new addition and he's coming from the legend and you have better stats. I have never seen him opening from the legend as well. So I'm not sure
no,
what is the
he
thought
never
behind.
opened for Legends. He was always
He is
1
always a
down, 2
middle order
down back.
batsman. He is the guy which we were talking about, right? 15 run, 35 ball. He can give you that stability. So
Yep.
I don't
He
know what was the
usually
thought
plays in the
behind.
middle order.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure what was the thought behind putting him on the opening.
And
the other
once
thing is,
Ranjit is playing 7 down, Avinash is back to 9 down.
well, let's put it this way: irrespective of the captaincy change, there has been no change in Avinash.
But Avinash did tell us that the captain of Pokeris did promise him that he's going to get better opportunities this year.
Did he bowl?
That is
He's going to use
He did not bowl his foot also, right?
KK. In the election here also, Modi ji promises so many things, then Rahul Gandhi promises so many things, and XYZ promises so many things. Do you mean to say that all those promises come true? Come on, man.
but
Come on, man. Come on, man. What are you talking about? These are promises, man.
we're all talking about Ravi Teja, but I think one other performance I would like to highlight is the Deepak Raj. His bowling was phenomenal as well. If you look at his figures, I mean, at the top of the order, 4 overs, 8 runs, 3 wickets. I think he basically was, took any sting that was probably of Kokri's batting out very early on. And I see, Sai Tota, an addition coming into the Stars unit. So that is the new addition. I don't think he's played for Stars yet. So
No, this was the first game that he was playing.
Yeah,
But it says, KK, what's the deal with this video not available? Was this video taken down purposefully, or explain that to me? I mean, was there a video of this game? I never saw a video of this game, but it says video unavailable. It has been removed by the uploader. So that means there was some video. Is that what it means, or am I getting it wrong? Because let me tell you something. My experience with Hari Parankusam. Hari Parankusam doesn't do any videos. He takes the Glad's videos and makes snapshots of those videos and posts it into Facebook. Okay, that's what he's good at. All right. So when Ravi Teja takes a great catch, he needs to fork over 50% of the revenue from that to the Glad's to the Glad skipper or the Glad's guy who's doing the video there, because I'm not surprised that there was no video. But yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see that innings, but that innings is not going to be seen. It's lost for eternity.
Yep.
And Viju, we are not generating any revenue.
Okay.
Okay, so we will have to ask Parthiv if there is any revenue being generated.
There is no revenue, but there's definitely a lot of excitement and entertainment that is being generated, and hopefully that turns into sponsorships. So
9:20, you had to be.
Oh, we have a lot of games. Okay, let's go on. We have the direction to go faster. Okay, Daria GLCC. I think this was an easy game for GLCC. I'll like Satish if you want to wrap this game up quickly.
Yeah, I think as expected, it was a quite straightforward game and one-sided game for the GLCC. I do not want to talk much other than, one special thing I want to highlight from Manish. Manish is again, I think new addition or not. I'm not sure about the GLCC, but he bowled 1 over. He's a decent bowler. I've seen him bowling in the hard ball, and he bowled 12 extras in this particular game in 1 over. I have not seen, 7 wides and 5 no balls. I would like to get KK Bhai when I'll be done with what happened to him or something specifically happened. But with the 20, because of his 1 over 12 run extras, GLCC actually ended up 24 extras in just maybe another in 23 overs. So 24 extras were way too much, and Dharia managed to score only about 48 runs from the bat, and Satya has contributed only on the double digit on the 12, and I think he did not get enough support from anyone else other than extra. And I think Prabhu is picking up his performance really good, even in this game and the game after that we'll talk about. Prabhu is a good all-rounder, and I think he's performing well for the GLCC as an all-rounder performance here. While chasing down for 72, I see GLCC has KK started really good this time, and along with the Manish, and they have given a solid start. And after that, I see a couple of middle order batsmen. I think they were trying out, because after they have got a good start for 72 chase, I think GLCC was trying to explore some of their batsmen, and they pushed Akash and Prabhu little down the order. And once they came in to the bat, and they make sure that they are finishing without getting out. So that was pretty much. And from the Dharia side, I see Raghav is picking up a wicket regularly for the Dharia. He picked up 3 wickets in this particular game. However, it was little. He wasn't that economical, but yeah, I think still 3 wickets he picked up for Dharia. Over to you, KK, if you wanna just highlight what happened to Manish that over.
I think Manish, it's been a while since he bowled with the T ball. He's been bowling regularly with the hard ball, but I think he was not getting the grip properly. It was an 18 ball over. Okay, but he kept on bowling. He kept on trying, and after 1 over, he was taken off. But
the 5 no balls for a line nose or a height nose.
Gabaji, let me correct you. Who's the youngest in our group here? KK, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so when KK was clueless in a topless bar, from that time, Manish has been playing for GLCC. Let me tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah. Manish has been there for a very, very long time.
You've
Okay.
seen
I
him
don't
in
know whether he
15,
bowls.
16, 17, 18.
I don't know whether he bowls or not, but he's been there for a long time.
Yeah. He's been in GLCC for a long time.
Okay.
Yep.
I may have not noticed him. Before us, he's playing playing less game because I see him playing a lot of hardball game F40 and T20. So
See,
maybe because of that.
I do not know what is going on in GLCC. I see that Pradeep Kalmath, who is an exceptional bowler, is now playing on FCC. What's the deal with that, KK?
I met Pradeep yesterday. He was at our game, and I asked him the same question. What is it? Is that a joke?
Yeah.
And he said these guys are forcing me into retirement. Samish and
That was a joke.
Abhishek and all those guys are forcing me into retirement. So I want to play more. So I put myself onto the FCC roster. So he wants to play, and these guys are not letting him play.
Okay, then explain this to me. How can Jagan be in the 25-man roster and Kalmath not be in the 25-man roster? Because Kalmath is a far superior player than Jagan.
That's why Jagan is there.
Stop taking Jagan into the conversation.
Jagan is not in the count.
Let's talk about it, right? So I asked Nishan the same question, okay?
Okay.
And Nishan told me that last time he met Akash, he said that why don't you change your team name to FCC because this is Nishan's complaint, right? That he posed GLCC posed Tejas and then Hemant, then Prabhu, then me. Irrespective of what are the reasons we went there, it's a different story. But this is a joke he made. And then as a barter system, they got Pradeep.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
but all those 5 guys equal to Pradeep now?
Well, the experience is still there, right? You can count all the 4 and still Pradeep has more experience.
Well, the next game is another one which I think is
2 minutes for you, Parthiv.
Yeah, next game is a real easy one. I think Raw Lunka is a fresh new team. Won the toss, elected to bat, and Rising Stars just whipped them. 2 overs, they scored 27 runs, and the game was over. Was that the shortest game ever? Now that's something one team can only tell me.
Yeah, you'll have to go and look at that. What is that? the game timings.
The duration, game time.
Yeah, you have to go down. Yeah.
No, this still doesn't beat the game which Strikers had against KRCC last year.
Is it?
It's a close competition.
How is that even?
Your game was done in 17 overs. I think 17.2 overs. This game took a little longer than that.
This is 16 or something.
Check.
17. Okay, it's close. It's close. It's 17 overs.
Close.
Anyways. 17.3.
Yeah.
Anyways, the point is, I think this was an easy game. Just want to highlight Prashant Patel, who got 5 wickets. So kudos to him. But easy game for Rising Stars. All right, next game, United Raptors versus Marvels. Another one which was very lopsided. United Raptors, they have a knack of winning the toss and getting the first batting. Even against GLCC, I think they got the first batting. So it's phenomenal to see how consistently they've been doing. And the top order, Armendra and Kaushik have been phenomenal. Kaushik has slipped into that opening slot, pushing Kiran down the order, and he's also contributing. So that's been working really well for them. And as you can see here, it's a performance that reminds us of the Raptors of the old. Over the last few years, they have been a batting powerhouse, piling on the runs, and then wiping the opposition out. So even in this case, you see runs from pretty much a lot of their players, Kiran, Armendra, and good to see Vikas back in action. He's been around with Raptors for a very long time. He was out, he took a sabbatical in between, wasn't there, but I see him in this game. I saw him yesterday in the game as well against GLCC. So good to see him. He's still fit, looks very fit. He's probably one of the fastest sprinters in between the wickets I have seen around, and I'm pretty sure he still has that. And then Marvels, I think brand new team, so don't blame them for the performance. I wish that they could have done better, but they against Raptors, it's hard to kind of once that pressure of the runs is also there. So, easy win for Raptors. I won't say anything more. Let's move on to the next game.
Did everybody in Raptors bowl? I mean, I see
Pretty much. I see eight or nine.
bowlers.
Oh, 9 bowlers.
Okay.
Yeah, they were having a fun time. All right, Lions against Cheetahs. Again, this is a game which I think is a Group B game. So I would go to Vamsi. Vamsi, do you think Lions were challenged, or does this look? Does the scorecard look
I
flattering?
mean, the scorecard doesn't tell us the entire story, right? Because in the hurry of finishing the game, sometimes you lose a wicket or two, right? But at least in this game, I think Cheetahs played well against the Gujarat Lions. They scored 78 runs, which, if they have good bowling, probably they can defend it. But it's again Cheetahs. It was Knights last year. Under new leadership this year, they've been doing decent in the previous games as well. But against Gujarat Lions, I think it was too much to ask. And let's look at the Cheetahs batting, right? We spoke about it previously as well, that they're changing their batting order so much. Because Abi was opening in one game, then he came one down, and this game you don't even see Abi playing this game. I don't know what is the availability issue, but they were clearly helped with 19 extras. The extras is the highest scorer. And Lakshmi Ganapati has been a bit consistent for them. He's scoring into double digits every single game. Ramesh got about 11 runs. And Nikhil Mulai, I think he needs to bat up the order. He strikes the ball well. He used to play for, is it the LPCC? There was a team in the past called LPCC. He used to play for that team. It was Mayur used to play for that team, if I'm not wrong. Long time back. Nikhil, yeah, he strikes the ball well. He's a decent batsman, not a person who you send at 9 down. But yeah, they were able to score only 78 runs. And when it came to Gujarat Lions batting, Satya, we can go back for our viewers, right? Yeah. The scorecard. Yep. When it came to Gujarat Lions batting, Maulik opened this game with Dwanit. Maulik is usually coming 1 or 2 down, but I think he is going up the order these days. We need to see why. But Ronak is back in action. He's back in form. Scored 28 runs and Chandan scored 10 runs. And that was it. As I was telling earlier, right, Parthiv, the scorecard, unless you look at the details, you would not know the entire story. They were, 75 for 4. They wanted to go for it and finish off the game in the process, lost 2 wickets. I think it was very comfortable.
Yep. I think, the Gujarat Lions bowling, we'll go to that later, but it sounds very, very, vulnerable. I mean, you see Ronak Patel opening the bowling. I don't think he's ever opened the bowling for any team that he's played with, but that is an interesting choice.
And I have this question, right? Because all of you guys might have played with Ronak in the same team. Gabaji, I'm not sure about you, but the rest of them, they know about Ronak. Yeah. Doesn't he have that habit of chucking a ball in between the over on purpose?
Well, he and I have always been subject to this question all our careers, I guess.
No, but you look at the other balls, his action is clean. When it comes to that particular ball, when he wants to throw, he actually throws it.
I have not noticed it. He has played with me and alongside and an opposite as well, but I have never noticed that he's chucking, or at least chucking enough to be noticed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the definition of chucking needs to be something that we need to be very clear to even say that, because what is allowable versus not allowable. Even ICC requires those biometric tests. So it's hard to kind of say just by the naked eye that somebody's chucking or not. But some people do have, like I would admit myself, I do have that kind of a jerk action as compared to some of the ones who have a clean action. But that does not equate to chucking. Chucking is basically, you're bending your elbow. That is chucking, not your wrist. So I always have this, dilemma. Debate with everyone. Anyways, I also personally don't think Ronak chucks, but I mean, it could look like that because of the way he bowls.
Not every ball again, that's very
Yeah,
much subjective to discussion.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sure there.
KK, the problem is who decides who's chucking. This is the problem, right? I mean, there is the 15-degree angle
What if
at
the
the side.
bowler he himself told some of the other players after the game that yes, he did check those one or two deliveries?
Are you saying that Ronak said that?
I'm saying, what if the player says that?
No,
He did
I'm
not say
asking
it to
you.
me, but he did not say it to
You're,
me. He told to the
you're
other
saying
players.
that he told other players. Okay. Well,
Not now.
here is
It's been a while.
okay. Well, now then the question is who has to? It's the umpires have to watch it, right? I mean, it's very very difficult. Already you have put ton of burden on the umpires. I mean, I think it's kind of very difficult. I mean, I think what Parthiv said is right. I mean, he and Parthiv and Ronak falls into the same category. Um, uh, can you say it is chucking? Let's put it this way: they are not Binod Singh. All right, Binod Singh is clean action. All right, there is you'll never say there is any chucking involved. Nothing. You get my point. But you hear the same things being said about Giriyappa too.
Yeah,
Correct me if
exactly.
I'm
I was going
wrong,
to say that.
Parthiv. All right, so
Yep.
you hear the same thing. So now, if you want to ban somebody, then you need to ban all of these guys. All right, but somehow I find that I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of difficult to say who's chucking and who's not chucking. We are not chucking experts, but yeah, I mean, in the past there have been complaints raised and things like that. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's a little subjective, and if if consistently the person is bowling and then one ball he chucks, well, that's very difficult to spot it and call it.
Yeah, I have a list of at least 20 players who do that, but I'm not going to put it out here because I'm already receiving messages saying that legend, rulers, boss.
What is that? What is this? Legend rulers boss.
No. I have a list of 20 players who check. Okay, but
Okay.
at least based on what's been happening, what's being
Okay.
unveiled in the last 3 or 4 weeks with how the league is running, I've been
Okay.
receiving messages that you are the boss, you are the legend, you are the ruler. Do whatever
That,
you
Three
want.
more
it's
games
the
to go.
different
That's
different
fine.
levels.
Done.
All right,
Okay.
let's move on, guys. This is fun, but we need to cover a lot of games. All right,
Yeah.
SSC Guardian Stingers. This was a close game. I think this was a game which I think Stingers were hard pressed on. Chasing 62, they should have done a better job in getting 51. I think on the SLCC Guardian style, if you look at that, there weren't too many contributions. I mean, the 13 and the 12, which you see there, were the only contributions in that 61. And all in all, I think it was a game where you just needed to be there, and the runs would come. But both the teams were guilty of losing a lot of wickets, and when you're chasing, that adds that pressure. The wickets were shared. No one was a standout performer. I guess the extras played a crucial role. You see 13 extras here in that 62, and if you flip to the Stinger side, you will see that the apart from my buddy Jagan and Jit and Ketan, there wasn't much of a support. So if the lower and middle order had given them some support, I mean, they would have pulled it through. So, my Jagan as a lone guy cannot pull it through. He was not out on 18, but couldn't see his team through. But one highlight performance which I want to share is Vikram Sehgal. If you guys remember, Indus
Raj Segal's
Thunders,
son.
or yes,
Raj
Raj
Segal's
Sehgal's
son.
son. Yes, former Indus guy, former I think he played for other team as well. He has been there for a long time, and his son used to play for, I think, Indus Bolts, the second team. But I've seen him. He's pretty good, and I'm sure even though he's young, I think he can definitely be one good addition in the coming years. He definitely bowls well. I haven't seen his batting too much, but he definitely bowls really well. But in this game, as you can see, he's picked up 5 wickets. So congratulations to Raj and family. I think they're the first father-son duo playing in DCL. So congratulations to them.
All right, where are we? United Raptors and GLCC. All right. I think I'll probably not be able to do justice more than Vamsi can. So, Vamsi, take it on. It's fresh in your mind.
Oh yes,
How
it was
did
a game from last night, and
Tell me about our Surya, Akash.
yeah, we'll get there. But first let's talk about Raptors batting, right?
Yeah.
Amar has been granted 2 lives, and in the process, he scored 38 runs. You would have got him for
Mm.
single digit, but fielding is not on par. But again, you know, Akash has been doing some of the right calls with the bowling changes, and Navpreet was just phenomenal. Because
Mm.
his maidens in the power play, or picking up wickets, getting Kaushik cheaply in the first over, that was their main back foot, right? I've been saying this multiple times that when it comes to big games, probably Raptors do not have it to complete winning them. Okay, and GLCC is always unpredictable. Losing to a team like Detroit Bulls and coming back and beating one of the strongest units in DCL, who now have the likes of Pradeep, Kondreddy, Kaushik, all these folks, new folks added, right? Krishna Chaitanya Sunkara. But I think in Raptors, what lacks is probably giving enough opportunities to their existing team members and probably trying to get folks from outside. I've been very vocal about it in the past as well. But let's talk about the positives for GLCC in this game, right? GLCC were at 16 for 4. When Akash came in, it was 0 for 1. But the way he batted, I'll say it in the words from Abhipen Metsa and Samish Kilam themselves, right? Abhi says it's the best innings by Akash so far. Blowing wind against the batsman, other team is on top. He goes in and plays a controlled and amazing innings. And Samish just says that, to add to that, chasing in cold weather and under lights, it was very windy. The wind was
Yep.
against the batsman. It was blowing towards the offside dugout.
Right.
And anything that you hit on the leg side, you would not clear it, on most of the shots. But
Yep.
Akash played a very, very controlled innings. Actually, it was only after the 20th over that's when he went for those 2 sixes. And Prabhu complimented him very well. Prabhu actually pulled a thigh muscle when he was bowling, but still then he completed all his quota and then came back to bat, ran well, no boundaries. If you see the partnership between Akash and Prabhu for about 12 overs from your 7.4 to 19.2, they scored 44 runs without even scoring a single boundary. And Raptors did not give many in extras as well, but it was a very controlled innings by Akash. I have not seen Akash bat before. I've only seen him trying to swing the ball in that one game which we lost to Detroit Bulls. But yesterday's game, I was very, very impressed by his batting. And, yep.
The only thing I would add is, there is a perception amongst the people that get Akash and you get GLCC. Is that true?
I mean, it's too early for me to say anything. I only played 3 games for the team.
Okay.
But Akash is the backbone of their batting. So if you are getting Akash,
At least in this lineup, yesterday's lineup, yes.
pressure.
Yeah, because if you look at yesterday's lineup, there are a lot of folks who are missing. Nasim Khan isn't there. Hemant Chelwai isn't there. Tejas Shantegowda isn't there. Okay, and in this particular lineup, I can say yes, Akash is the Babu. With Abhi gone and 4 down, Ajit gone, probably Akash was the guy who had to carry the team, and he did that.
Right.
So KK, you're basically saying that Raptors had pretty much anybody and everybody and still lost to a depleted GLCC lineup.
Well, the problem is, again, I say Raptors do not know how to win big games. And irrespective of what you get your top 3 players in DCL and get in there, because the management at the top is the same, their thinking is the same, they would not cross the line. Probably it is 50% of the time.
So KK, how about that Pradeep's run out? I think if Pradeep
is not run out. It was marked incorrectly. It was Vikas who was run out.
Okay.
Pradeep was caught by Akash.
Oh, okay. So I saw that Pradeep got run out because he is. If you see the Raptor, right, I personally like Pradeep. Out of all the DCL middle order batsmen, Pradeep is very impressive on the middle order.
Kondreddy.
That guy can stay can take a singles on each ball and can hit sixes also. So he's very dangerous batsman to be on the middle order. And if he would have stayed for a little bit more, they would have added a little bit more runs. And I don't know what would have happened, but
I'm
that is
not
something that
sure.
I.
I'm not sure if you know about this another tournament that started last year. It's called as the Friends Cup. It runs for 14 games of league games.
Okay.
Pradeep was playing that tournament. He scored 500 runs in 14 games.
Yeah, I did not know that, but I'm seeing him performing everywhere. I could not follow
Yeah.
Friends Cup because I'm not sure if it is not in the cricket clubs or I never
Mhm.
played, so it never show up. But whatever the leagues I played or follow, this guy is scoring everywhere, left and right, specifically from the last 2 3 years. And
Yeah, from
this is
21,
the
he has been very, very consistent.
this is one of the best addition. I would say switching the team here and there. He is one of the best movement and getting somebody in for the Raptor. Raptor had little bit more dependency on the Kiran and Pradeep Bota on the middle order, and once the middle order is exposed, they are having little batting on the lower middle order. I think that will Pradeep will solve that problem perfectly for the Raptor.
Hmm. But at the same time, let's also not forget that Kaushik is a great addition to them.
Yes,
And
there's no doubt
now
about that.
with his experience, he got one through Kaushik's defense and got him out. But at the same time, Kaushik is not at his 100% fitness.
Two
He
more
still
games,
has that
guys.
tennis
All
elbow
the
issue.
guests are there.
Sorry?
2 more games. I think
Yeah.
Mahesh already joined.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's move on.
Vamsi has definitely lowered the average age of GLCC team. So that's one thing definitely.
I'm 35, Parthiv.
I know you've lowered the average of GLCC. They are all on Medicare and Medicaid.
Well, still it's beating the likes of Raptors, right?
I keep
Call your friend Bota and tell him that.
whenever I see this Amish and Ashraf and all the Abhishek, all those guys, I tell them, you guys are still on. You guys, what are you guys on Medicare now?
No, speaking of age, right? I want to say only one thing. Satya, I'll take 30 seconds. After the game, I was talking to Samish and saying he's been bowling exceptional. He's moving the ball outside off. And he says, I'm still leaking runs of 3 balls of an over. I don't want to do that. That's the kind of passion he has. And that's what I think is beating most of the batsmen.
Well, I know. Why I can never figure out where he drinks the fountain of youth.
Yep.
Well, let's go to the game. MCC Miles and Troy Hawks. I'm pretty sure Sanjay will have a smile on his face when he's here because at least he's got a good game in the bag. Coming from that loss against Thunders. I think this was the kind of performance that we expect from Miles every time we rate them so highly. I mean, this batting performance is why we rate them so highly. I mean, if you look at their batting lineup, there wasn't a standout performer, but pretty much everybody contributed. You see 20s and 16s and 10s and 13s. All of that adds up to that 125 total. And once they had that total, it was hard to kind of not under the lights. And as Vamsi said, I think one of the things that was working for Miles was they were on the ground where the wind was in the direction of the leg side boundary. So some of the hits which you see there from MCC Miles were assisted by the wind, taking them over the boundary. And then I think it was a clinical performance by Miles on the bowling side as well. I mean, if you look at the bowling side, if you see Troy Hawks, I mean, they never really had a chance. So, I wanted to throw this out to our analysts. What do you guys think? Is this what you expect from MCC Miles?
Yeah, part
Yes,
of this
more
is
big-
what we were expecting, but we didn't get that in that key game. You see, but yeah, this is kind of what we were expecting. But then 2 games in a row, we didn't see any of this production. You see, so that was the concern which I had, which is why I said, unless they win this game, I didn't want to give them another showcase game of the week, at least regards to my vote. But they won this game, but this is exactly what we expected. But I don't want to hold up since we are out of time.
Miles is like RCB. Okay, they need to score big in case they want to win.
So they'll never win. You want to say that?
Well, the game is not over, right? IPL is still going on, and I'll hurt a lot of RCB fans if I say no. But we know the answer.
Well, all right. Anything, Satish, you want to add before we move to the last
Let's
game?
move on to the other game.
Okay. All right. Last game of the week is the Strikers Hitman game. All right.
Go for
Let
it.
me. All right. So I think this is a game. I think again we were playing on the same direction as the GLCC Raptors, so we had the wind problem as well. I think what we did this time really good was our top order. I think played really well. I think if you see, I ran myself again out. 2 out of 3 now. I need to figure something out. But Sarvesh, he's been a great addition, and Swapnil, he's another great addition. We've got these two guys, and I'm pretty sure if they play for us longer, I know they have commitments, but if these guys play for us, I think we are going to be a real good team going forward as well. So kudos to these guys. I think they built the innings, and then towards the end, Kishore added a few useful runs. I think we were a little short. I think at one stage I was feeling like 120 was on par, but we ended up, probably 15 to 20 runs short. On the other hand, Hitman, credit to them, they didn't give us a lot of extras. So pretty much everything that we did was through the bat. I think, we need to stop getting runouts too many times. 3 runouts in an innings is too much. But I felt like, even Hitman, I think they were experimenting too much with their bowling. I mean, yes, initially they had those 3 bowlers go for their full quota of overs, but in between trying to fill up that fourth and fifth bowler, I think they somewhere lost the plot. I think they tried, that spinner. I don't remember his name, but he gave up a lot of runs as well. I think that gave us, yes, Santosh. I think that gave us the momentum. He bowled a no ball, and the free hit was sent over the fence. Here we got a 6 out of that, and that switched the momentum, and we started what looked like an 1890 score suddenly started to look more than that. And then on the bowling side, I think it was a great team performance. I would say we started well, and then towards the end, I mean. And one guy I would really want to highlight is Sujay Yarua. He played with Stingers last year. We got him this year, but he is probably as close to the left arm spinner Sandeep or Jadeja in IPL terms. He's so accurate, and within an eye blink, he finishes his over. I mean, within you just go there and he's ready with it. So he's a great addition, and if you get to see him, do see his action, and he's been a phenomenal add to our team. He's been able to control the innings in the middle overs and get wickets, and he actually turns the ball. I mean, I know we have spinners all over DCL, but this guy actually turns the ball. So
He's a
great
really
performance.
good bowler. He also bats well too. So
Yep,
I played
he's
with him. Yeah.
yeah. So I think he's definitely one we will rely on a lot in the middle overs to get us wickets and tie the run rate down in the middle overs. So all in all, I think 5 points well earned, especially in that cold night. I don't know what happened. The weather got just switched. It was 80 when we landed there, and then suddenly it is like 50s, and everybody's like shivering and trying to find shelter. So it was a good game in the conditions that we played in. All right. Anybody wants to add? Yes, good.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I feel Swapnil is a real good ad. I mean, I was very impressed. I watched this whole game because this was the clearest broadcast which was going on. The Miles game was also there, but the quality of the broadcast on this one was better. So I watched the entire game, and I thought Swapnil was a great ad. He and Parthu were the best bowlers of the day, at least for the strikers. And if you go back and look at the ball which got Santosh Kundla out, that was a peach of a delivery. There was good extra bounce. The ball was pitched right at the spot, and you could neither go backwards nor forwards. You had to commit to a shot, and then it took off. Kundla had no opportunity to play anything else. You could see that after he got out, he just stood there wondering what else could he have done. I mean, it reminded me of the Parthiv of old. He had the line, he had the length, he had the movement. Uh, the only thing I could find fault with him was he bowled 7 balls in that over. Other than that, I couldn't find any fault with him. I mean, in the sense that, and I think Swapnil, if you ask me, he also batted very well. I'm not sure where you got him from. I thought he played for FCC Agni, but I could be wrong. But again, Sarvesh did the anchor role, and Kishore and Kritesh, if you ask me, the running between the wickets is amazing. That was a trick which I think when the hitmen go back and look at the game, they probably should go and look at the video to look where they are making some mistakes. Because you know what? Here, these two guys are dropping, just tapping the ball and running, and still all your fielders are standing way behind. I mean, at a drop of a hat, the very first time that happened, I would have brought in my fielders and I would have forced Kishore to go over the top and show me that he can clear the fence. Other than the 2 runs fence, let's see you clear some of the other this thing. But they did not do that, and they kept their fielders back, and these guys were taking singles all day long. So that I think Hitmen need to go back and correct some of those mistakes, because they have some good talented players. There one Aditya Gopalan, I saw him, he's pretty decent bowler and things like that. So they have the pieces there. The question is, can they get the job done? Abdul Malik, if you ask me, is a phenomenal bowler. They have to make him play. And also this left arm spinner, which you said. So basically, Partha, what you're telling me is our Stinger buddies, they have lost 2 of their best bowlers. One was the left arm spinner, they lost to you, and the other guy, I think Maulik poached him, right? So basically, their top 2 bowlers are gone.
Yes.
In 2 different directions, kind of a thing. So no wonder our Stinger buddies are not doing all that well. But I wanted to say on the hitman, Syed Aplu, fantastic batsman, very aggressive batsman, but he probably is going to get a few LBWs because he tends to go across the line. Even balls which are well outside the off stump, he's going to deposit at the deep square leg boundary or at the cow corner. So anybody playing hitman probably want those 2 positions well covered, especially when Syed Aplu is this thing. But he's got terrific hand-eye coordination. Even that 6 which he tried off Binod, I mean, I thought it was a very good, clean shot. I mean, probably the wind held it up or whatever it is, but also probably was also a great catch by the fielder itself. But I thought he was a fantastic ad. But they have a guy called Hiten Motikana, right? And that guy, I saw him in the Glads game. He was standing, I do not know, maybe probably at Cow's corner. He went all the way, ran to long off to catch a catch. He got his hands on it and it just trickled out. But phenomenal. He's lights out fast. I mean, he can fly. And I think I also think that Hitman team needs to be a little more serious. They are a little too relaxed. They have a lot of fun. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you're playing that game, probably they have to be a little more serious because when you are too relaxed, you tend to be, leaking runs here and there, kind of a thing. But more what I'm looking for is the killer instinct. That I still did not see it within them. It's not on the question of the talent. I think the talent is there. It's on the killer instinct, which I have a little bit of. Because, Partho, remember that catch which they dropped? I do not know if it was Sarvesh or if it was Swapnil, right? I think it was Sarvesh's catch which they dropped very early in this thing. It was a sitter, all right? It was a sitter. That should be taken. And my point is, if this fielder is so relaxed, that makes no sense, and probably he should not be fielding there. Probably you need to put him into a place where the ball is least likely to come. But all in all, I think good team, but a few things which they need to correct.
And I think Partha was not giving him enough credit himself, right? Because he scored 10 and then picked up 3 wickets for 9 runs in 5 overs. Opening the bowling for strikers.
Well, that credit goes to Kishore. I don't think I myself would have given myself opening bowling. He thinks that I still can do it, and he keeps throwing me the ball, and somehow it's working. So I don't know.
And the viewers need to know a 42-year-old Partha Mehta is opening the bowling. Bowling 5 overs.
I have learned a couple of tricks from Binod. I've seen him, so he's told me to shorten my run up, so I don't bowl with that longer run up which I used to have. So he's taught me a couple of things where I can still be effective and not not tire myself out. So I'm learning from the guru.
Okay.
Parthu, how much did you pay Vamsi to subtract 1 year of your age? Huh?
He
Yes.
did text in the group that he's 42, but I didn't know
No,
he's
he said
44.
he's.
I
Ask
am
him
going
how
to be.
old is.
I am 43 in 7 days. My birthday is
Okay.
26th, so
Okay.
All
almost
right.
there.
So next week.
But okay, so Parthu, now the next question is: all right, you're performing so well. Have you lost some weight? Because when I look at the
actually.
okay, because when I looked at the video, I felt, man, this guy has slimmed down a lot, and that also probably
have.
experience. Okay,
Yes,
so that
I have been trying to lose some weight to help myself, but yes, it's
okay.
not there yet. But hopefully, it will be there.
Well, I think it's reflecting on the bowling as well as on the batting end, because I think this
Right.
is the best I've seen you play in the last 3-4 years, kind of a thing, both on the
Yeah.
batting end as well as on the bowl. Because I thought the batting end looked very much like the old Parthiv. I don't know if you remember, I had come to RHG. At that time, it was Strikers and Warriors who were one team. You had scored a
Right.
50 in that game, and I was
Right.
the umpire in that game. So it looked like that Parthiv kind of a thing. So the same thing which I said about our friend Abhishek Shankari about 10 years back, both of you seem to be dialing back the years. So congrats.
Well, just like him, that was my only 50. So you might want to come back to umpire. Maybe that will change some things.
But will you guess what? You reduced Pardhav's age by 5 years at least with that point.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move on to the next segment, our game changer of this week, sponsored by our sponsor Akshay Patra, Farmington Hills, a great Indian restaurant for you guys to check out. They've been sponsoring our game changer of the week, $25 gift certificate for Ravi Teja for his blistering 61 against Pokri. So anyone who knows Ravi Teja or Ravi Teja, if you are listening, I know you're a busy man, but if you're listening, do claim your gift certificate. All right, predictions as usual. I'm still leading, so no surprises there. But gap is closing up. How KK's got close?
Well, let's see if both the games which I'm watching now go my way, then it will reduce much.
What game are you watching, KK?
Stars versus Legends. Stars need 23 in 8.3 overs with 6 wickets in hand.
You predicted Stars or Legends?
I picked Stars, you picked Legends. The other game is
okay.
MI Rangers versus Thunderbolts. I picked up Thunderbolts, you picked MI Rangers.
Rangers, yes. All right.
Both
Both of
games are
them
going
are
close.
interesting. Yeah, both of them are interesting right now. Stars do have an edge, I think 77-22 more. So I would say Stars are favorites there. But yeah, MI Rangers, Thunderbolts could go either way.
9
Is
overs,
Ravi
25 to win
Yeah.
with 5 wickets in hand.
Yeah, but the last 5 wickets, you know how things happen. It can tumble. All right. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's see. All right. Here is our first game, Hawks versus Rangers.
So everybody going with Hawks.
Okay, so we have a new wrinkle, Partha. We are now putting. I only asked for the top guy. Satya went overboard and added the top five guys. I think, but I mean, I honestly feel we should give the honor only to the top guy. Whoever is the number one guy, he gets to have his name there.
The top, but remaining all in the same point. So I had to put them.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought this guy was two games ahead. No. Imtiaz is not 2 games ahead.
Imtiaz is more, but remaining all in the same 29, I think.
Imtiaz no. So I only wanted Imtiaz there. Whoever is the number one guy, if there are 3 people tied, then yeah, all 3 people. But I didn't want to create work for you. But yeah, I mean, congrats to Satish Kumar Belakumanda, Raghu Kumar Palaniswamy, Vignesh, and Moon for being in the top 5. I guess. I guess they are all number 2, right, Satya?
Yes.
Those 4 guys are number 2, and Imtiaz is the clear leader by 2, I guess. So anyway, so all are Hawks. All right, very good.
And all are Hurricanes.
10-0.
My goodness.
Well, right. This week is quite simple, I would say. A lot of one-sided games. I mean, not one-sided, but I would say.
But here you see some difference. And
oh wow!
Okay.
I'm surprised. There are a lot of
all analysts are on Motor City. So.
All analysts are on Motor City.
in whatever universe or planet it is, Viju is not going to pick Cover Drive Cricket Club after their 18 for 10. When the Glad's players were in the cars for longer time than on the field.
Yeah. I mean, actually, this is a question which needs to be answered. I mean, we tell these guys, oh, if you guys win the toss, bat first. But honestly speaking, they are spoiling everybody's one day which they have taken to play, and you spend more time in the car. It's really frustrating because you can't get people. So sometimes maybe some of these teams should take a challenge and say, you know what, let's bowl first and let's see what happens.
Oh yeah.
It's
So that you guys can
not
crash
happening.
them and score centuries.
No, but then, but did you come to spend 1 hour on the ground? I mean, is that what you came for? That's the question. All right, Detroit Bulls, clear favorites.
Everybody's
All right.
Detroit Bulls.
Well, Detroit Bulls heavy favorites.
Detroit Bulls are bullying the marbles.
Wow.
All right.
It's Troy Hawks.
Troy Hawks.
Troy
Okay.
Hawks and Rocks. Rising Stars got a win, but I don't think they're going.
Actually, on this one, Parthiv, I'm not so. I thought about picking Rising Stars because I think
Me too.
Rising Stars this year actually
Go ahead, please.
was a lot better than lot better than the prior years, But having said that,
I totally agree.
But having said that, I don't want to drop further games. You see.
It's all strikers on this.
Oh,
All right. Thank you, guys.
strikers. Okay.
Local boys. I think local boys beat GLCC a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. It's all Raptors.
Never know.
This week is kind of like
Yes. This week, yeah, it's been a very one-sided contest.
We keep saying that every week, that it's all. Last
Yeah,
week
I
also
know.
we said the same thing.
Thunderbolts, Hunkars.
so all are on
Okay.
Thunderbolts on this.
Yeah.
SSK Stars, everybody are on Stars. Sorry.
Yes.
I mean, what is this? Gabaji is holding 2 cups.
One for the corporate cup and one as a runners-up, right?
Unfortunately, both are runner-up cups
Oh, both are runners-up. Oh, okay.
on the same year.
So all
One is
are on
for the
Sterling
Cricket Cup and another
Strikers.
I think each of those cups will hold a full barrel of wine.
Yeah, you can.
Legends
So,
Agni. Okay, this is
It's
also
all
legend.
legends. Nobody went to Agni. So
Hard to I know
then
Indian have.
it's KK and me are on FCC, remaining on Detroit Titans.
Oh wow! So this should have been the game of the week then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I honestly was thinking that this has a very good chance to be SGOW, because I think this is going to be a
guess
close
what?
game.
I did irk Nishant a bit by saying that Gabaji mentioned it to me that FCC did not deserve that semi-final spot last year.
Okay.
No, I did not. KK, this is again Masala. I did not mention that. I said
When we met,
I did not say this one. I said that they played better cricket on the playoff, but they were better potential team. Would have gone there. But
So
yeah, they
let's see.
deserve. If somebody has played semi-final, who am I to say this that they're not deserving?
You are Gaba to say that.
All are on GLCC on this.
Now you're KK, you're already pumping up Nishant against me and my team.
Well, that's the least I can do because that guy is
Okay.
clearly
Here
not
comes
happy with me.
here
All
comes
right,
the
this
SGOW. So
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. I would
Everybody
like
is
to
on
see
fighters.
where are the analysts now?
I
think
think
you joined,
Gaba is on Miles, KK
I'm
is
I'm on
on
Fighters.
Fighters, Parthiv is on Fighters,
Yes.
me on Fighters, and Viju on Miles.
So
Wow.
basically, I am the only guy who is still loyal to this Sanjay Elangovan, right?
Me too.
It's a weekend game, right? I don't think Abhi is going to play again. He's going to leave.
Okay.
And Miles need to play well because if fighters can restrict KRCC to 83, and then chase down that bowling lineup, I think Miles' bowling is weaker than their batting. They are like the RCB team.
Okay, guys. Both the
RCB.
captains are there. Mahesh, can you turn on your video, please?
They are like the superstars, right? You know, they have the ABD, they have the Kohli, they have the Faf.
Well. That is going to be my first question then. Let's see. Hey, welcome guys. Thank you for joining, Sanjay. You're back again on the show. Thank you for coming back again. Mahesh, thank you for joining us. Good to see you, and congratulations for the phenomenal win last week. So
hello everyone. Thank you.
Great to see it's always good to see the champions getting defeated. You know, although we want to see the champions win, but it's always great to see an underdog beat them. So first question to you guys. This was a follow-up from Vamsi's chat. Sanjay, to you, are you the RCB of DCL?
Give me 1 second. I'm trying. 1 second. I'm trying to fix my camera. It's not working out. Just give me 1 second. I'll try to sit in a better position.
Let me say something else as well. It looks like Mahesh's Fighters is like the Gujarat Lions, and he's the Hardik Pandya now.
Oh, that's a compliment. Nice. Yeah, that actually. Let's go with you first. Your Fighters is a fairly new unit. You know, although you guys have a lot of players who have played experience. Tell us about how this team came into formation. Like, how did you guys move out of Detroit Bulls, get into Fighters? How did this team get formed?
Yeah, first of all, hello everyone. To form the Fighters team, we are planning from 2 years before when we started Fighters team. Like, we playing other leagues, FCC and other leagues on 2020. From at that time, we trying to build some good team for the DCL, but finally we played 2 years from Detroit Bulls. Later on, we pulled some players from we played multiple players from the different leagues, and we bring it all together. And we have senior players like Sai, Venkat, all, and Sidhu. We play we know from past 7 years. We know each other. We conduct some other leagues. We play together a Nova Cup and all the other leagues, TDF tournament. So we are planning to. It's been a long time pending a DCL team, but even I'm moving some other states due to work purpose, and I'm coming back. But finally this year, most of them are interested to show, okay, hey, let's form that team. So that's how it came up. Everyone chipped in, from different teams came into as a Fighters.
Wow, yeah, I know that there have been a lot of teams that have tried to form such a team, get people from other teams and form. Some experiments have been successful, some haven't, but it looks like you guys have got the chemistry right. You guys are really playing like fighters. So, congratulations on that. So now, my friend Sanjay, you are back on. What do you say about this? What do you say about this allegation from Vamsi? Are you guys the RCB of DCL?
Why allegation? Why is it an allegation? First of all.
Okay, before I get into any of the topics,
they have the Brahma. No, they have the Brahma.
Hold on.
Sanjay.
Hold on. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. Before any of this goes up, I want to give Mahesh a heads up. Mahesh, don't believe any of this analyst words. They'll praise you anything. Last week, everyone predicted KRCC. I was the only one on the show predicted Fighters to win, if you remember.
I remember, right. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you predicting Fighters to win again this week?
No. Definitely no. But I'm just letting you know. Okay. So coming back to KK's point, RCB, if he says, I'm actually happy. I'm really happy and proud to take that as a compliment that we are RCB. Yes, we love to be RCB. Rather than being MI and rather than being KKR, I am so happy.
This is not right.
So, but yeah, we have good players. We have a good unit. We have struggled, but that's what we are. I'm okay to take critics. I just saw the things where Viju had a huge rope pointing around everyone.
No, it's not a rope. See this? This is the head of KK. This is my head. This is Gaba's head. And the only head which is missing is Parthiv's head because he picked Indus, you see. and we all jumped on your bandwagon, and we got our head handed out to us, and we are lying as roast. You know,
See,
we are
but
we are
Viju,
we are steak on the Indus table.
Viju, but trust me this, okay? I'm not. I whatever you comment, whatever you critic, I'm not mad. I'll take it positive because you still on the side of Miles predicting this week Miles to win. Right? Last year, when we lost to Pokiris, you were the only one to predict in quarterfinals. I mean, in pre-quarters to say that Miles will still win because I trust this team not to lose twice. So I'm not getting mad at you. I'm taking it as a compliment,
No,
and
no, no.
this gives us a good
Again,
sign.
as an analyst, it's my job to make things interesting. All right. I
Exactly,
mean, there
exactly.
is no point in just coming and reading a scorecard. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry can do that. Now,
Right.
how difficult is that? That requires no skill. The skill is to bring attention to the game. And obviously, you've watched Inside the NBA, right?
Right.
Charles Barkley is there.
Mhm.
Barkley makes it very interesting, and he's also the highest paid analyst. But what Barkley brings is spontaneity. He's spontaneous. You don't know what he's going to speak, and he'll roast anybody and everybody. But the idea is, it's not rightly trying to put
No, no, no.
anybody under the bus.
That's
But the
what
thing is
viewers.
that we
That's
have to bring some kind of interaction. Otherwise, there is no fun in it. I
no,
mean,
that's what viewers want, right? That's what they are looking
yes.
for. So I'm happy to take it, and it was good. Yes, we lost to Indus. We lost big time to Indus, but it's okay because we lost to Indus. I mean, they are not Indus without 3 championships to their crown and consecutively, right? So it's a tough loss, but we will take it as in a positive way. As said, it's better to lose earlier in the season, figure out the mistakes, then come back strong rather than at the early stage or in the playoffs. So
So
any
Sanjay,
question?
what you're saying is that you're going to cost me 2 points. 1 point because I picked you
See, that's your
last week,
problem. That's your
and
problem,
one.
buddy. That's your problem, buddy. I lost 5 points. Okay, I lost 5 points. You lost only 2 points. I lost 5 points.
Yes.
You lost 1 point.
Okay. So
This
that's where
week,
my problem lies.
Okay, so then Sanjay, back to the question. What changed in 3 days?
What? No, nothing changed in 3 days. See, nothing ever changes in 3 days, right? I mean, you put a team. I see. I can confidently say, right? No team here. Let that be Glass. Let that be KRCCR. Doesn't matter. No team can say out loud that we can win a team and go and win it. That too, Indus. You put a team. You have a plan. You try to execute it. It works out. It works out. It doesn't. You shake off. You learn the mistake and you move on to the next game. One game does. I personally prefer that one game does not define a team, or at least one season is not going to define a team. Miles have lost a lot, have taken a lot, have learned a lot to come to a position where you guys predicted us to win, right? 90% of the analysts predicted us to win. It did not come in overnight. It did not come in
Right.
one game fashion. We had to build around it. So that's what we are trying to do
Well said.
again. Yes, we have a loss. We lost it, but we are still. I pretty much use the same batting order what I used against Indus in Troy Hawks, except for very minor corrections where I had to send Venkatesh up, then push Muthineni down, and then make myself go a little bit above the order, then push Rahul Chinna down. That's a very minimal change in the batting order, but that's what I'm trying to work it out, right? Last year, see, everywhere people keep asking, whenever there is a win, people are okay with it. But when there is a loss, there is so many people coming around and asking
Yep.
so many questions which is tough to answer. They keep asking, Rahul Chinna is doing so good, why don't they send him up the order? This year, trust me, I tried. It did not work out yet, right? And so that's what it is, right? People make different things, but as a team, as a captain, I need to figure out certain things, what works best for the team. And for that, if it takes a loss, yes, it takes a loss, and I'm happy to take the loss.
and Sanjay,
Nice.
let me
Well-
say something here, right, on the record.
Mhm.
The reason we get so easily upset is because we have so much confidence in MCC Miles, and all the analysts were behind, except for Parthiv, of course. Remember that.
Yes.
No? And seeing you lose to Indus in such a way actually breaks our heart.
No, definitely yes. Actually,
Yeah.
see, it breaks my heart the most because I am unable. It's really good to see that people predicting us, that you guys have really good hopes on us, and when I'm unable to deliver that, at least if I would have been really happy if we scored like 110, 120, and they still chased us in the last over, I would have still been happy about it. But when we couldn't deliver what we are supposed to deliver, it hurts a lot. But it happens, right? I mean, it happens. We have the names, we have the players, we have the talent. It just didn't work out. So where it didn't work out, that's what we are trying to learn on it. And maybe next time when we meet Indus in playoffs, we will definitely deliver better.
Yeah, remember last year we lost to Indus in the league stage, FCC.
Right, exactly.
We were
And you beat
23
them
for
again
8,
in
chasing
playoff.
110. We bundled out for 70. In pre-quarters, we were able to beat them. So
Right.
second encounter has always been lucky for MCC Mines. So that's what I can
It's
say.
so far,
Last year,
yes.
Pokeries as well.
Definitely, yes.
Let's
All right.
hope for the best.
Okay, I have one question which we were discussing before
Yes.
when we were doing the analysis for in this game.
Mhm.
So, did you know about the Abhilash plan that he will be leaving early?
So this is one kind of a thing, Gabaji. Actually, I wanted to talk to you probably personally on this. Honestly speaking, I am still not clear on the rules, a little bit here and there. But yes, I know Abhilash has to leave. His game is at 10th. I watched the show and the questions you had, why not go back second with Abhilash? So if you think about F40 starts at 10:30. The player can be there till like 10:40, 10:45. And Abhilash kinds of plays over there as a major role as well. By the time our first innings gets done and then he travels all the way from Keith to Canton, it takes another 40 minutes or so, or 30 minutes, worst case, right? So considering all this, he won't be able to make it to F40 on time. That's why we wanted to bat first. And the other possible answer is, we were not going to do this in the first place itself. I would never go against, not Indus, right? Not Indus, just any other team. I'm not going to go handicap 10 people. It doesn't matter because anyone can pick a place and then start playing around it. And trust me, it was very tough when there is this rule of you should have only one player outside in power play. That hurts us a lot because now the ground is wide open. So, but this is a try, right? Because we know we are going to get into the situation moving forward. Abhilash is going to be not he's key player and he's not going to be available for most of the season. And I don't want to take this risk. I don't know what's going to happen in future rather than take it now, risk it and see what happens. Now I learned the mistake that this is not going to exactly work out what is supposed to unless there is a 2.5 hour window between DCL and F40. I'm not going to take this chance again.
Yeah, I think that was
Can
my
I?
that was my question. Second question, which you already answered, and I think it is to think about a lot of captains who are having this dual players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this even a risk factor? Is this a smart move to take a risk specifically against opponent like in the or a competitive opponent? Whether you want to go and field with the 10 player, I think this is the
Right,
question.
right.
Every captain should think about it. Abhilash may or may contribute, okay?
Right.
But the 11th player standing on the field will always contribute. The 25 was he would have failed and probably would have saved some run.
Right. I mean, I
Guaranteed.
totally agree. See, that's
So,
what we wanted to know, right? We wanted to know. Unless you put that into action, you experience it, you're never going to know. So
right.
we came to know. But if you ask me, still, is it worth the risk? I would say yes for certain players. Abhilash is one of my player because I trust him, he trusts me, and there is a chance. This game he couldn't, but there is a reason he's an Abhilash, right? There is a
Yep.
reason we talk about him because he's capable of delivering in any situations. But definitely against certain very good teams, this is definitely not worth taking the risk.
Yeah, that is where I was coming. Like, if as a captain, I can take that risk when I'm playing at least what I evaluate a little weaker opponent than mine, right? But
Right,
I will
right.
never take that risk against an opponent that I already feel that either they are superior to me or equal to me. I will
Mhm.
not take that risk. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Thank you for answering that.
Sure.
Sanjay, I'll come back to you, MBB. I have a lot more questions for you, so I want to finish off with Sanjay. Sanjay, the thing with what you said about the 10 players, the Abhilash thing, we had the
Right.
same problem when we went against our last opponent. Who did we play last?
You guys
Hitman.
played
Hitman.
Covered
We
rail.
played Hit.
covered, right?
No,
Okay.
Hitman. We played
Okay.
Hitman.
Okay.
We had the same scenario, but then we decided not to chance the situation because we respected Hitman enough that we said, you know what? Even though we think we can win that game with 10 people, we don't want to take a chance because we have already lost to strikers and we couldn't afford another loss to Hitman too. So we said, you know what? We made Anu play the game because we said, no, we don't want to go in with the situation where one person plays and leaves, and then now we have to field with 10 because that's a huge disadvantage actually.
Right,
So
right.
let me ask you this question: how much is the loss of Karthik Jaykumar hurting you? Because he was one guy who could stay at the wicket and rotate the strike, and we saw this against Glads last year where he stood there for a long time. But what it does is it gets you to a respectable total. And what's the deal with Sunil Somavarapu? I mean, why isn't he playing?
Okay, sure. I can answer you both. Definitely, yes. Loss of Karthik Jaikumar is definitely a big for us, and especially as you mentioned in the one down spot, because he's kind of a silent killer, right? Everyone, when you go into an opposition when we are batting, their focus is more on Brahma when he goes opening, and their more focus is on Rahul when he comes down the order. They try to attack him where they doesn't even figure out there's a guy standing next there, which is Karthik Jaikumar, who silently he doesn't even hit sixes or boundaries. He only scores twos, only twos, not even singles. He just tries to score the two outside, make use of the field restrictions, and he tries to accelerate. The good thing about him is his personal thinking when he's batting is he's more worried about his strike rate. So he always wants to maintain a 75% plus strike rate. So he always tried to get runs on the board. So the scorecard keeps moving. Even though there is a loss of wickets here and there, the scorecard keeps moving, which is always a bigger advantage for us. This year, we do not have a spot for that yet. The addition of Venkatesh Muthineni to the team is basically to replace the spot. What I saw in Muthineni playing with him and around him in all these years, I saw he's a potential player who can continuously rotate singles and doubles. He's not a six hitter, but he can continuously rotate singles and keep the scorecard moving and also holding on to the wicket. And he has done that in the Spring Cup, what we have played so far. So we are playing Spring Cup semis coming week. So, and if you look at all the league games, he has done that, and he's yet to do that in DCL. So that's our plan. The plan is to have Venkatesh Muthineni take over Karthik Jaikumar spot and play that innings. But once he has get into touch with that, I think he's going to deliver it on that part. And to answer second question, Sunil Somavarapu, last conversation I had with him is he's in India. I don't know why. Vamsi said he's in Michigan. To my knowledge, he's not. He's in India right now. He went on an emergency on a last minute flight, and he said he would be back in like 3 to 4 weeks, which is somewhere in mid of June.
Okay.
Okay, then the information I heard is incorrect. Thanks for correcting, Sanjay.
No.
Okay. So the other question, other than people getting out, what exactly went wrong so horribly against Indus Thunders?
So basic analysis from my end is, as you have also mentioned, right? This is what I told before the Troy Hawks game to the team. We are basically an attacking team, right? I mean, at least I personally feel that we are an attacking team. Even though there is some fall of wickets, we should continuously attack on the opponents rather than go behind. But what happened in the Indus game is, once we had the loss of Brahma and Abhilash, our team kind of went into a backwards spot. Like they stood back a little bit and tried to defend rather than try to get the runs out of it. And that actually, if it's a normal team, if it's a developing team or a team which doesn't notice this, will make it normal. But a team like Indus noticed it and they tried to put more pressure on that area where they stopped our singles and dried the runs for us now, where we have to get runs no matter, and we started losing wickets in a continuous spot. So that's what actually happened. So before Troy Hawks game, I told my team, like, doesn't matter, you lose 4-5 wickets, just keep attacking, and that's what we did.
You guys had questions for MBB, because I wanted to switch to MBB, but if you guys have questions, I'll let you go.
I already had my question.
Okay. So I can go?
Yeah.
Okay. MBB, you have become the superstar of this league. You have, but well-deserved credit. I mean, your game has improved leaps and bounds from, I don't know, 4 years ago when I used to see you on this thing, which is when you came on the radar. And I know there is a superstar by the name of Mahesh Babu. I've never seen a single movie of his. I know who the person is. He's a very attractive-looking person, or a handsome-looking guy. But I've seen your game. It has been, I wanted to throw it out publicly. This is the first time I think I'm interviewing you on the show itself. Congrats on all the kudos which has come your way. You have taken the league by storm, both on the batting end and on the bowling end. You have pretty much carried your team. A lot of respect. And I also wanted to say congrats for all what you have done for your team, and also to bring interest into the league. I wanted to ask you a question about another guy who seems to have just come out of the woodwork. At least I did not know anything about him until I saw him bowling. He's your teammate, Mahendra Burreddy. He's your 1-2 punch. You two guys are working like Malcolm Marshall and Michael Holding, where at their peak, they used to feed off each other. Basically, one guy gets wickets, the other guy starts picking up the wickets, and if you go and look at the scorecards this season, and I looked at this Mahendra Reddy. I saw in 2019 he had 6 matches. He took 1 wicket in 6 matches. All right. His average was 52 for taking a wicket and 4.8 or something like that economy. In 2021, he played 7 matches, but he picked 11 wickets. All right. But still something which is going to get noticed or something which is going to attract attention. The average certainly improved to around 11 or 11 and a half, but the economy was still 5.3, which is pretty high by DCL standards. Then you go to 2022, he has 9 matches, but he picks only 9 wickets. That's 1 wicket a match on an average. Again, economy of 11.67, and now his economy has improved to 3.62, which is decent, but nothing which will make me go, oh wow, or something like that. But then I come to this season, and now I saw him that first game which you guys were playing, and then I see that in 4 matches he has taken 10 wickets. And his economy is now in the 2.8 region, so a significant improvement. My question to you is, you're his teammate, you're his skipper. I wanted to ask you the reason for the breakout. What has he been eating, or what has he been doing which is causing this breakout? Because the difference is like night and day. I mean, he is just broken out, and maybe nobody else noticed it, but I saw him, and that's my first time he came on the radar. And then the stats are backing me up now, because the stats were not backing him up, at least until this year. But this year, the stats are backing up. And when I saw him bowl, I can tell you why the stats are backing up. So that's my question to you.
Yeah, usually Mahendra is a very good bowler. Like, he will swing in and out, outswing. But I think what the difference from past years to right now, previous years he's not supposed to bowl like with a new ball, or he will come at a second spell or third spell. That's how I seen him. But I mean, Mahendra I met from last year in some when we were doing some practice. I seen his bowling, and I asked just for come for like some other tournament. He came at that match, and after seeing his bowling, I thought like he's the right to fit for our team. But at that time last year, he played for Patriots past years, but usually I think the main difference is like usually I gave to him the new ball at the first spell. If it is possible, if it's good to bowl 3 hours, I would like to go with the new ball, and he will swing the ball, and he will give me the wicket every match. I think last year, like whatever the other tournaments, whenever I give the new first over, he'll give 1 or 2 wickets easily on first over. That's how he bowls, like the swing. And even the batsman's little tricky to catch his bowling. Like even batsman little confused when he's running up. Like usually he'll come like a cowboy. But so that's how some batsmen is saying to me. Like, but he's for new ball, he's a very good to swing. He will do both, like in swing and out swing. And now he's not doing much experiments. He's stick with line and length. I think that's a changing from past years right now.
Okay. I also noticed that you have a Mano Reddy on your this thing. Is he this Mano Reddy who played on Agni? Because I don't remember noticing his name last year, but 2 years ago I thought he was scoring tons of runs. I wanted to say that he played for the Spartans, or no, Agni or somebody like that.
I think he played for Agni, yes.
Okay, yeah. So that's because I remember he used to go open, and he used to stay for a long time and scored the runs, and made Agni win a few games. So is it the same Mano Reddy?
Viju, we played a game against FCC Agni in 21 when I was playing for Legends, and yes, he did score a 50 in that game.
Okay, so it's
and
the same
he plays
one
with his TCA, the Troy teams for the hard
leather ball. Yeah.
Okay, so it's
the
the
same guy.
the same Mano Reddy. Yeah. So that's a terrific addition, which if he's going to consistently play for you, I think should be a great this thing. I want you to convey my congrats to Venkat Wadala when you see him next, because I think the KRCC game, he had an outstanding opening session with this thing, which with the ball, with controlling the strike rate and controlling the outcome of the game with the way he bowled with his steady line and length, which allowed people working around him, whether it is Mahendra Reddy or you, to then come in and reap the rewards. Because when one person gets the job done, somebody else is probably earning the benefit of that. But just wanted you to, whenever you see him, just say hi and pass on my sincere this thing. But congrats on that KRCC win. I don't think any of us, other than Sanjay, would have predicted that, because going into that, it was a fantastic win. But I wanted to ask you, that game was a close game, right? The 24th over is when you guys overall the target, but throughout it was a seesaw battle, and you guys were bowled very well, and then you guys had to come and get the job done on the batting. As a skipper, I'm sure there were lots of conversations going on. Take us through some of those conversations as to what really happened. What did you convey, and what were others conveying? And is there something which stands out to you? Also, it's an opportunity for you to highlight some of your players who might. I mean, we already highlighted Suresh Ravi and a couple of other guys who did phenomenal in that particular game. But as a skipper, take us through this thing as to what really went on, which allowed you to pull off this upset, because at least in DCL circles, that was an upset, but well-deserved upset. Obviously, it starts with the leadership. Obviously, that one move which you changed, which nobody else figured out how to get the best out of Mahendra Reddy, you moved him into the opening bowling spot, and it has reaped wonders for you. Even in this game, he opened the bowling and did phenomenally for you. As a skipper, take us through your thoughts, what was happening in that game, some key points, so that we can get an idea of it. Again, what we are trying to do is highlight the players and let everybody else see the other side, which they cannot see on a scorecard.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we lost the toss. We are bowling first. Already in that Keith one, we played like multiple games before. That is a pretty much good for bowling and batting. It's a pretty much good ground to play. We thought like we didn't do much experiments, and we went with the best playing 12. And how I did the first match mistake, like with the Hurricanes, I didn't use the multiple. I mean, if I had a multiple options for bowling, I didn't use, and we just stick with go for the no need to do much experiments in the bowling too. Just go with the dots. If we are putting some pressure on dots, they obviously will get the wickets. That's how we planned, and we stick with us, and that's how we got the wicket. So for me, the Ziban and Jasneet by all these wickets. For first innings overall, like bowling, we did pretty much good job, and we reduced some extras too, like I think under 10 compared to previous games. And 80 score with just, after first innings with 82, I thought we have like 150 balls, which for over, even though who are going for batting, we just say stay there. We don't want to lose early wickets. We don't want to put on middle order or on pressure on them. Just stick with those. They're basic, like per over, we need 2 to 3 runs, unless at least until break. We don't want to lose much wickets. Just ones and twos are good. And even the who are going for batting, they played like very relaxed, and they didn't took any pressure on the opponents. We have either Oni or Jasneet or whoever the bowling, like they doesn't just stay there and just doesn't care much about what then. If it is bad ball, just keep on, like even especially the Sai, who is experienced, played. He just stayed, like he played almost 50 balls. He scored 26 runs or 24 runs. We have luckily this. In fighters we have like a Sainath and Suhesh, Arjun, even Manu, Moon. These are the same category players. They can stay there and they will rotate ones and twos. If it's unless bad ball, they can hit. Otherwise, they will just stick to wicket, and they try to build a more partnership. And we have like good hitters like Anil, Naveen. These are like very good hitters, like if we need, and Sai, and we didn't get some other chance to other guys, but still we have a pretty much decent and some balanced team. So they know they right now, at least who are playing for now, they know their roles, what they need to do and how they play. But for KRCC, we didn't. We went for like innings, and they know what their clear roles, and they know what to do in that game.
Okay. Well, I hope many of the new skippers would watch this interview and take some of the things which you said and implement it in their own team. I mean, I can think of hitmen. They should listen to you carefully and not to experiment too much, but going for the win and all the right things. But congrats on a fantastic win. But also all the best for the game against MCC Miles. And I wanted to wish Sanjay also the same thing. But I guess time is also a criteria, so I just wanted to stop at that. But thank you for coming, and best wishes to both of you for the showcase game of the week.
Thank you.
All right. With that, I think it's time to wrap up the show. Thank you again for our guests for joining us. We'll be back next week, hopefully analyzing the game, the showcase game of the week. Hopefully it's a cracker of a game. But until then, good night, everyone, and take care.
Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.